News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard, filling in for Manda Factor. It's 5:02. The state's first major wildfire of the year is in Spokane County. Multiple aircrafts are dropping water on the upriver fire, which started yesterday. The Spokane Valley Fire Department says 500 homes are threatened. Trails are shut down on Mount Si after a bear attacked two teenage hikers yesterday afternoon. The 911 calls came in at 12:45. One of the teens was clawed by the bear. Another was hurt while running away. Police across the state are searching for 35-year-old Davy Donato, accused of assaulting his ex-girlfriend and kidnapping her 6-year-old son in Linwood Monday night. Ferry engineers say Washington State's system is not ready for World Cup crowds. Today, union leaders will discuss ongoing staffing shortages and a pay gap that could mean continued service disruptions. The USA-Australia matchup in Seattle will double as a Juneteenth commemoration. Organizers with Seattle's FIFA World Cup Committee will hold a press conference today ahead of the match on Friday, which falls on Juneteenth. Now let's get a check on the roads with KIRO News Radio's traffic. Ted Biener.
Thank you, Katrina. And your early Wednesday morning commute is moving at the speed limit. We don't have any reported crashes or stalls in your way throughout the Puget Sound region. Some drive times, Arlington to Everett, under 15 minutes. Everett to Seattle at Bellevue, both of those are under a half hour. On northbound I-5, Olympia to Tacoma through JBLM, that is close to 30 minutes, while Tacoma to Seattle is 35 minutes. Your Puyallup to Renton drive time is a half hour, while that drive from Renton to Bellevue is just 12 minutes. I'm Ted Biener with KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic.
Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's Morning News.
In this morning's edition of Start Here, ABC News reporter Alex Mallon breaks down the allegations of a terror plot planned at the White House over the weekend. Here's the show host, Brad Mikey.
Last weekend's UFC event on the White House lawn was historic for a lot of reasons. A professional sport with corporate sponsorship on Paramount being hosted in conjunction with the White House on the president's birthday, no less.
I just can't believe that we're at the White House watching UFC fights. Dude, I'm so filled with like testosterone. I want to kick somebody in the chest. It's crazy.
A huge arena, not just with the octagon cage, but a gargantuan claw-shaped set holding 4,000 people, along with tens of thousands more at the ellipse across the street. An athlete crassly insulting a former first lady on live television. But amid all that, sources tell us behind the scenes, law enforcement had been scrambling to avert a catastrophe, that people have been plotting to fly drones, carrying explosives into the event.
I'll tell you the Secret Service led that investigation from the beginning. I'll tell you that it's ongoing.
Yesterday morning, we learned multiple suspects have been arrested. Let's go to ABC's Alex Mallon covering this. He's at the Justice Department right now. Alex, what are the allegations here?
Yeah, well, we now have a total of 5 suspects in this alleged plot against the UFC event in custody now. They range from states including Ohio, Missouri, California, and Nebraska. And what really set this off, we learned from these court documents that were unsealed yesterday, was not what we usually see in these type of terrorism or threats in cases where they are alerted to the FBI by undercover sources or informants in these groups that are able to embed it. It was the call at 9 p.m. on last Wednesday from a mother in Ohio who said that her 19-year-old son was alarming her with his $3,000 in payments from his graduation that were going towards tactical vests, weapons, ammunition, and that she was also concerned about people that he was speaking to online. And it goes into this complaint that we've seen now, 4 separate complaints against 5 defendants unsealed that really reveal the inside signal chats that were taking place between members of this group that were allegedly plotting this attack at the White House last Sunday.
It was an active plot, yes, involving purported claim to be plan to use drones, snipers, etc.
So they detail in these court documents the alleged 2 phases that they planned to carry out this attack at the UFC event. One involved drones that would be equipped with explosives that they'd actually send towards the event itself. And in their minds, the defendants in these cases believed that this would create a rushed panic at the event of high-profile individuals there, and they'd have snipers positioned who would carry out the second phase of this attack, trying to take out high-value targets. They list off in one of these court documents individuals including President Trump, Vice President Vance,
I haven't heard about it, no. But the attack that I watched were the fighters.
Another court document lists off a number of Republican senators and House lawmakers that were believed to have been there. And another lists off Elon Musk as a potential target for this group. So it really is, remarkable in the sense of the amount of planning that allegedly went into this, that included escape routes at one point once they were done carrying out this attack, that some of them would be redirected to go and try and get onto the Potomac River in order to flee the Capitol and go to a safe house.
Wow. And what do we know about these guys, like the suspects? Like, do law enforcement say they have any idea of what the alleged motivations might be?
Investigators really detail this in the court documents for Tyson Proper, the 19-year-old from Ohio who was arrested in connection with this plot. They describe him as a ringleader, and they say that this group chat that he was a part of on Signal, that the members of it would often talk about anti-government sentiment, that they particularly outraged over the government's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files, and they just believed essentially that the government was filled with pedophiles and that they needed to essentially carry out an attack like this that would spur, in their words, a revolution that would overthrow the U.S. government. We've seen groups like this before, often who are motivated by race-based hatred, but this group is more rooted, according to these court documents, into purely anti-government sentiment, and in one of the court documents, religious sentiment was backing their desire to have the government of the United States overthrown.
So interesting, though, because President Trump in so many ways ran on the idea of like being the voice to people who were tired with the status quo. And yet, for whatever reasons, you have some of these same groups being like, well, we don't trust the government, whoever's the government. Alex, just to be clear, though, I know these guys are now facing a range of charges like conspiracy to commit violence against federal officers, conspiracy to commit violence on White House grounds. Is the accusation that they talked about carrying out this attack, or that they actually began to carry out the attack? Like, how close did they allegedly get to pulling it off?
That's what we're still asking a lot of questions about, because allegedly there were as many as 19 individuals in this Signal chat, and they had only arrested 5 as of yesterday.
It was an active plot, and it's ongoing.
We heard from a Secret Service deputy director yesterday describing this plot as very serious.
And we're 100% confident that we knew locations, level of planning, level of response. The event itself, I am confident in saying, was never at risk due to the great investigative work.
But also, we see often in these court documents that these individuals are venting frustration that others are not committal to actually carrying out these attacks that they planned at the White House, that they were really meticulously planning, including setting up specific sniper locations. But they couldn't find any people who'd be willing to actually be the snipers. And also, we didn't see in these court documents yesterday any indication that law enforcement had actually seized any drones that were equipped with explosives or any explosives in general. Though these people were, in many instances, heavily armed, there's no real indication that they had actually gathered the drones that would be necessary for carrying out such a high-stakes attack at the White House.
Right. Even Vice President Vance has apparently said this was not that advanced in his words. Alex, about the drones of it all, like, regardless how far this alleged plot actually got, it does sound like the nightmare scenario for federal, state, local law enforcement. Like, everyone has been talking the last few years about how difficult it is to defend against drone attacks. So, like, what would have happened at the White House if explosives started sailing over these fences, if like the mom hadn't called beforehand?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, this is something that we've definitely heard from law enforcement, including in briefing materials that have been obtained by our investigative unit, where they are constantly at these high profile, especially outdoor events, alarmed at the potential for armed drones being able to come and quickly breach perimeters and attack targeted individuals. We know that the White House has extraordinary capabilities to fend off drones, and Washington, D.C. in general, the city, has technology throughout the Capitol that is intended to be able to identify when an unauthorized drone is flying, especially given the number of flights that come in and out of the city. This has been a concern, and we know that law enforcement is prepared for in advance of the World Cup. They say that they've deployed unmanned aerial technology in order to thwart potential drone attacks at any of the World Cup matches that are happening.
Unmanned defenses being like, what, we'll fly a drone into their drone sort of a thing?
Yeah, I mean, essentially what you would see is something like anti-missile technology in order to just essentially blow it out of the sky before it's able to do any damage. And we know that they are also prepping that technology for the 250th anniversary of the United States that's being celebrated in the Capitol here on July 4th. So yeah, definitely is a big component that we're seeing law enforcement use to prepare for these outdoor big events that they're having in the coming months here.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like 1 or 2 drones, very scary. I mean, because they're so cheap, it's possible, and we've seen this in Ukraine, that you could be facing dozens or hundreds of drones at a time, given a deep-pocketed adversary. Alex Mallon, thank you so much.
Thanks, Brad.
For your forecast, we're starting off with patchy fog, but it'll clear up with warm sunshine and temperatures in the 70s. Right now, it's about 53 in downtown Seattle. Coming up, we'll have a look at the new cancer treatment that some researchers are skeptical of, and more from ABC's Brad Mikey on part 2 of the Start Here program.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is brought to you by Closets by Design Seattle.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
I remember brushing my hair and looking down and thinking, oh my gosh, do I have any hair left?
I used to look at women with thick, beautiful hair and think, why doesn't my hair look like that?
My thinning hair is making me feel so old.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. With clinically proven ingredients like apple extract, biotin, and millet, Hair Volume nourishes your hair follicles to promote thicker, healthier-looking hair. Say goodbye to shedding, thin, and dull hair, and hello to thick, healthy hair with Hair Volume.
Since taking Hair Volume, the shedding has all but stopped.
Now, instead of being jealous of other women's hair, I have friends who are jealous of mine.
My hairdresser couldn't believe the difference in my hair. Now she's using Hair Volume too.
Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com, or find Hair Volume in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Summer's a busy time for most businesses, and WaFd Bank is here to help you keep up. WaFd Bank has you covered with free business checking, business credit cards, credit lines, and other services to move your business forward. WaFd also offers payment processing, so customers can pay through a kiosk, a mobile app, or online for seamless transactions. And with so many options, WaFd Bank is quickly becoming an SBA preferred lender of choice, so you'll find the perfect fit to meet your goals. WaFd Bank, built for business. Visit wafdbank.com, member FDIC, loan subject to credit approval.
Holy smokes!
The On Cruise Adventures Rick Riz Show.
What happened at the ballpark yesterday?
Sparky's sitting on my scorebook here, my cat.
Friday mornings at 8:15 on Seattle's Morning News.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair during their once-yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185, advancedhair.com.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. With new home communities from Lacey to Stanwood, D.R. Horton has the right home for the best value. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Seattle's Morning News. Always live, always connected. Stream, watch, subscribe, and share at mynorthwest.com.
On today's edition of ABC's Start Here, reporter Steve Osunsomni outlines some concerns over a novel new cancer treatment. Remember
Remember a few years ago when the COVID pandemic was raging, there was this subset of people avoiding the new vaccines and instead turning to this drug.
We've seen that throughout the pandemic. Treatments like ivermectin have real adverse events that people have to be concerned about.
We're talking about ivermectin. It comes in the form of a pill.
It is widely used in livestock, but it's a drug that has been used on humans without question to kill parasites, and it works for that purpose.
That's ABC senior national correspondent Steve Osunsami. He recalls when people would swear this drug was an effective treatment for COVID despite grave warnings from medical experts. Well, now he says that same drug is being touted by some of these same voices as a miracle drug to fight cancer.
Ron Duguay is a former NHL player. He's from Canada.
I wish I felt as good as I look.
He's a charismatic character who is famous for his big hair.
Ron Duguay is well known. He has a following. For years, he's been dating Sarah Palin, the former governor of Alaska. But a few months ago, he revealed he's also been living with colon cancer, stage 4, as dire as you can get. He went on chemotherapy. He feared the worst. Eventually, his daughter suggested he also look into alternative treatments, including off-label use of ivermectin. His tumors, he said, began to shrink and disappear.
He is convinced that the reason why that happened, that his success is in large part due to ivermectin. I asked him over and over again.
But what about the chemo? Yes, it works, but the reaction from my doctor tells me he was not expecting this at all. So, you got to look at these other things that I was doing.
Researchers say it is increasingly common for people to beg their doctors to prescribe ivermectin, despite the fact that the FDA has never approved it for cancer treatment. In fact, these researchers can point to a moment where it all took off.
I have 3 friends. All 3 of them had stage 4 cancer. All 3 of them don't have cancer right now at all.
That was the actor-director Mel Gibson last year on Joe Rogan's hit podcast. Now, you might not trust actors with much, let alone medical advice, but this was heard by 60 million people.
Ivermectin, fenbendazole. Yeah. I'm hearing that a lot.
Researchers like Dr. John Maffei at UCLA found in the year since that podcast, prescriptions for ivermectin have soared.
Among patients with cancer, it just about tripled. And then patients living in the South or among men, rates more than tripled.
What's also risen, though, are calls to poison control. Data from American Poison Centers show more and more calls from people worried they overdosed. And this is where doctors start to get worried.
In very high doses, it can lead to seizure or coma. In extremely high doses, even death, although that's rare.
And this is the thing, risk versus reward. It's possible ivermectin could have benefits for cancer, but it's not clear at all. Anecdotes are not the same as clear-eyed, wide-ranging studies.
Is there a little bit of information out there that shows that this might work in mice and in test tubes? Yes. But none of this, they say, is gold standard information that gives a patient a clear green light to take this drug safely.
And meanwhile, the concerns multiply. If you have stage 4 cancer, maybe you don't care about whether this has been extensively studied. Like, what do you have to lose? Scientists say, A, you could poison yourself, but B, you could start thinking treatments like ivermectin can allow you to skip the chemo or the radiation. They don't.
The concern is that patients are delaying or foregoing treatments for cancer that have proven benefit, that can prolong their lives.
The benefits and risks of chemo are proven. This just isn't. And if anyone knows the power of proven treatments, it's Steve.
I'm a cancer survivor myself. I had prostate cancer. I had surgery and radiation, and today I'm cancer-free, right? We know that radiation and surgery work. What doctors are really concerned about are people who want to avoid those two things. I understand it. I wanted to do everything possible to avoid either of those two, right? And they're concerned about people who say, oh, well, let me try ivermectin first. That's their worry.
In the meantime, it's easier than ever to get off-label ivermectin under the Trump administration's Make America Healthy Again legislation and under Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who advocated for ivermectin use at the height of the COVID pandemic. Restrictions on this medication were loosened in several states.
In Tennessee, for example, we're working with KFF Health News. We've partnered with them on this. They were able to go to, because you can buy this drug in Tennessee without a doctor. They were able to buy versions of this drug from compound pharmacies that were 10 times the prescription strength, recommended prescription strength of anyone who's going to take this for any purpose.
Steve says it's tough to judge anyone who's seeking out other treatments from pure desperation. But if these patients are mistrustful of the medical establishment or for-profit pharma companies, they should also know that people peddling ivermectin are getting rich off that mistrust.
It is absolutely big business. There are compound pharmacies that sell it now, online pharmacies that sell it now. You've got the president's son, his oldest son, who is now the spokesperson for an online pharmacy selling it online.
Personal experience is a powerful thing. Most people with terminal cancer, for obvious reasons, only go through it once. Trusting double-blind studies with control groups and peer reviews might be the gold standard of science, but emotionally, it can pale in comparison to an anecdote from your friend. Doctors just ask that you look at the numbers. Years of research go into these studies. Use your head. The people you hold close to your heart will thank you for it.
For your forecast, we'll go through some patchy low clouds on your way to work before warming up to the mid-70s. Right now, it's about 53 in downtown Seattle. Coming up, G. Scott stops by to discuss his experience at Monday's World Cup match here in Seattle. I'm Katrina Kashard. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio.
Please be advised. You may want to stop eating the following foods immediately: broccoli, kale, bean sprouts, blueberries, quinoa, spinach.
Wait, what? I thought those were good for me.
Turns out, not for everyone. Because what's healthy for one person can cause inflammation for another. And the only way to really know what your body needs is to listen to it.
Listen how?
That's where Viome comes in. Viome is a simple at-home gut health test that looks at your body's real-time biology using RNA to understand what's happening inside you right now. When your results come in, you'll learn exactly which foods to eat, which to avoid, and which supplements are right for you, all based on the world's largest RNA-based human biology database and thousands of clinical research studies. And many people who use Viome report more energy, better digestion, and a better mood within months. So stop guessing. Start knowing. Learn more at Viome.com/gut. V as in Victor, IOME.com/GUT. And use coupon code GUTHEALTH50 to save $50 off your purchase. Viome. Trust your gut.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Carrie injured her back years ago. This is her story.
My herniated disc was so significant that they did the first surgery, the laminectomy and a microdiscectomy. The first surgery failed, and I ended up with another herniated disc, which is pretty typical that herniations just move up your spine. The doctor was recommending another fusion surgery, so I researched alternative therapies. Sound Pain Solutions developed a plan that included bioelectric therapy, laser therapy, decompression, pressure wave therapy, in addition to rehab. Once we started that comprehensive approach, it went phenomenally. They honestly have given me my life back, and I'm happy to help other patients find sound pain solutions sooner.
Schedule a free consultation to learn if you qualify for our non-surgical and drug-free treatments at soundpainsolutions.com.
Costs are up, but life doesn't have to slow down. Subaru of Puyallup has fuel-efficient, all-wheel drive models meant for summer road trips. Experience the redesigned Subaru Outback. Bold, safe, more capable. For stress-free pricing and offers, visit SubaruofPuyallup.com, your stress-free dealership.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids.
KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Hey there, Dawn Riling from Olympic Hot Tub with exciting news. Our mid-year clearance event is on. You'll score big savings on all in-stock saltwater hot tubs and fabulous saunas. Plus, deep discounts on newly released floor model swim spas. These deals are incredible. But don't wait. Our mid-year clearance ends June 30th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
There is nothing so special as June in a Northwest garden. Hi, I'm Gina, a designer and sign painter here at Sky Nursery, and I have been a huge gardener since my now adult kids were shorter than my lavender. When I get home from work this time of year, the first thing I do is head straight out into the garden to see how everything is growing and enjoy the spring golden hour. I'm in love with this year's zinnias and lavender, and the rose I added this February is just about to bloom. So I've been spoiling it with a little extra organic fertilizer. And as any gardener does, I'm also trying everything I can to make space for just a few more flowers and veggies. If you still have room for new plants in your life, June is a great time to get them in the ground before the summer heat. Come into Sky and explore the colorful tapestry of trees and shrubs, summer veggies and herbs, fountains, containers, hanging baskets, and more. Sky Nursery, the gardener's garden store since 1953. Visit skynursery.com for free seasonal garden advice and summer events. Happy gardening!
G. Scott here. Safeway wants you to know SunBucks gives qualifying families $120 per child for summer groceries. Some families are signed up automatically. Others need to apply. Find out if you should apply at freesummermeals.org.
Epic parties start at Staples. Now you can grab Party City balloons, decorations, and tableware, plus matching custom invites, banners, and more right at Staples. That was easy.
RV buyers save thousands at the 10th Annual Summer RV Blowout Sale, June 18th through the 28th at the Evergreen State Fairgrounds. Top manufacturers with every floor plan imaginable, exclusive dealer rebates, huge discounts on new and used models, factory reps on site, enjoy free lunch, plus a year's worth of free camping. The 10th Annual Summer RV Blowout Sale, June 18th through the 28th at the Evergreen State Fairgrounds in Monroe, hosted by Open Road RV, free parking and admission.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard, filling in for Manda Factor. The state's first major wildfire of the year is in Spokane County. Multiple aircrafts are dropping water onto the upriver fire, which started just yesterday. The Spokane Valley Fire Department says 500 homes are threatened. At last check, it was 0% contained and burning about 300 acres. The cause of the fire is under investigation. 2 teens are recovering after a bear attack on Mount Si near North Bend Tuesday afternoon. KIRO 7 TV's Nia Bliss reports.
Officers say the bear charged at the teen, clawing him. While Keenan never saw the actual attack, he did witness the injured teen hiker escorted down Mount Si by King County Search and Rescue.
The bear scratched him up. He all like his extremity, his whole legs were scratched up. He could really barely walk.
King County Search and Rescue believe the group encountered a mama and her cub. That bear is still out there. The Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife say that this trailhead will remain closed until they get that bear.
Gunfire near the border in Blaine.
I sat straight up in bed because I heard gunshots. I want to say 3.
The FBI is investigating the shooting involving a border agent. KIRO 7 TV's Jason Sloss reports it happened around 5:30 yesterday morning in front of a home.
A neighbor posted a photo on social media saying the guy who was shot was hit in the leg and went down in her driveway. The FBI says a gun was recovered at the scene. The FBI says it was an isolated incident with no threat to the public. No reports of anyone else who was hurt.
The U.S. Attorney's Office tells Seattle Red the suspect was known to law enforcement and had a criminal history. Residents in unincorporated Breneton broke up to a loud crashing sound early Tuesday morning. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has more.
Kitsap County deputies were called to an apartment complex on Northeast Steeple Rock Lane in unincorporated Bremerton just after 2:30 a.m. Kevin McCarty with the Kitsap County Sheriff's Office says when deputies arrived, they found a damaged garage and at least one damaged vehicle.
Sheriff's deputies believe the 19-year-old driver of that car was under the influence of hallucinogenic mushrooms when he drove the car from inside a closed garage.
The man drove away, then returned and was arrested. He now faces multiple charges, including DUI and hit and run. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
For your KIRO News Radio real-time traffic, let's get a check on the roads with Ted Beener.
Thank you, and good morning, everybody. The good news on the roads is there are no blocking issues for your early Wednesday morning, with smooth flowing traffic throughout the Puget Sound region. Let's just take a look at some drive times. Auburn to Renton is just 12 minutes. On northbound 405, Renton to Bellevue is also 12 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle is 25 minutes. And if you're coming in from the north end, Everett to Seattle, Bellevue, both of those are under a half hour. And the Narrows and Lake Bridges are moving well. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Ted Beener.
For your forecast, some patchy low clouds on your way to work before warming up to the mid-70s. Right now, it's about 55 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News. Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
Joining us from the G and Ursula Show, 9 to noon today on KIRO News Radio. Host of the Reset podcast, G. Scott is here.
Yo.
G, you were front and center at the World Cup yesterday. Just take us behind the scenes. What was it like?
I will. Excellence. I'll start off with that.
Okay.
Love. I'll start off with that. Passion, energy. It was my first World Cup. And I've heard like, oh my goodness, you've never been to a World Cup before. I'm like, oh, well, you know, I've been a part of a lot of big games, right? A lot of game day presentations. I've seen it all. I've seen some big deals and all that stuff. So today what I want to do is I just want to take you guys through something, and I'm going to show you a little bit of a difference, okay? So as you all know, I've been gone, and I've been rehearsing and preparing for the World Cup yesterday's kickoff yesterday at 12 p.m. So there's a time where we go from near the pitch down there on the field, if you will, but the pitch, we're down there. And so we go from the pitch, if you've ever been inside of Lumen Field, we go from the field basically to the fan deck, right? So after we do that hit, we got to go way up to the fan deck. So that means that we got to go through the tunnel, go through the elevator, go through the concourse, got to go through all this stuff. So in rehearsals, I was telling people, hey, you know, just so you know, during the games, in football games, it's really packed, so we have to account extra minutes as we're making our way from down by the pitch to the fan deck. Okay, so we had that built into the script. So yesterday, when it came time to do it, We go through the tunnel, go through the elevator, go up, go to the concourse, and we're going through the concourse, and it hit me. It was quiet. It was empty almost. And I'm like, wait a minute, and you go to look through, everybody's watching the match. Everybody's in there watching the match. They're in their seats watching. And I had never seen that before. And if you have been to Seahawks games and you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. You know how the concourse is always busy. People are eating, they're drinking, they're taking selfies, they're hanging out. Hey, meet you here, meet you in section 127. Oh, let's talk. Almost long time. And you sit there, you have 20-minute conversations out there, right? Nuh-uh. Not yesterday. People were in their seats, and then they're in their seats. It was a young fan. I interviewed some fans and everything, and one young fan from Egypt, he said it was the best day of his life. Oh, wow. He said it was the best day of his life. Like, people were so the love. Like, even if you all don't like soccer, but you just want to be around people that love something or good passion, great energy, I would suggest this Friday coming up when it's Team Australia versus Team USA, I would get down by the stadium and just be around it.
I was going to ask you guys. My son Sam and I were talking about maybe we do that after the show. You just head right down there.
Just head down there. Because then that way, in years to come, you can say, hey, were you around it? Yeah, I was there. I was there. I'm not just, and by the way, I never thought that I would talk about this way. I'm a American football guy. You guys know that about me. But I'm telling you, the love and the passion that happens. And by the way, the game itself, it was anticipated. It was intense. Like, the athleticism, I don't want to get into that part of it. You guys know better than me. But just watching, and then it was a 1-1. And wait, I got to admit something to you.
Okay, admit it.
I got to admit something to you. All of that. All in anticipation. 1-1. It was great. All this stuff. And it just ends in a tie. And then I'm leaving the stadium, and I'm like, I just feel incomplete right now. Like, I feel like somebody needed to be a winner. I get it. I know the ties and all that, but man, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was so good. Can I at least leave? And by the way, Team Egypt, who has not won a World Cup game before, I thought that they were going to finally win one. Well, they didn't lose.
Coming up, your political insights from ABC's Dave Packer.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Honey, did you invite the minions over?
Well, you know how we talked about getting Wi-Fi from Xfinity?
Yeah.
I ordered it this morning, was online in minutes, then they showed up.
So they just came over to use the Wi-Fi?
They even brought their own devices and spellbook.
You didn't give them the new Wi-Fi password, right?
No.
That's good.
I gave them our old one. Because Xfinity lets us keep the same network name and password so devices connect instantly.
What do they want Wi-Fi for anyways?
Better not to know. Plausible deniability.
Get streaming or scheming instantly with same-day Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Plus, lock in one price for the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi for 5 years. Guaranteed. And see Minions and Monsters only in theaters. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
If you're over 62 and finding it hard to keep up with the rising cost of living, this may be your solution. I'm Steve Teitler, owner of Best Mortgage. Every week I talk with seniors who love their home and want to stay, but feel financial pressure every month. Property taxes keep going up. Insurance costs more. Everyday bills add up, and for some, they still have a mortgage payment. If you're wondering how long your savings need to last, a reverse mortgage may be worth a look. It could eliminate your mortgage payment, pay off debts, and give you breathing room every month. Now, I want to make it clear it's not right for everyone, but for the right person, it can be a very smart financial tool. When you call Best Mortgage, you'll speak directly with me. I'll explain your options and tell you honestly if it makes sense for you. If you want to stay in your home with less financial stress, call me, 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, honest advice you can trust, 425-649-6000.
These are your political insights from ABC News. Primary elections in several states. In Georgia, Rick Jackson won the Republican nomination for governor over the Trump-endorsed Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones. Jackson thanking supporters.
This campaign was never about me. It was always been about the people of Georgia, especially those who feel unheard by the powerful.
Jackson will face off against former Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms in November. But it was a good night for other Trump-endorsed candidates. Republican Representative Mike Collins defeating Derek Dooley to secure the Republican Senate nomination in Georgia.
Y'all know I am so proud to be standing here as your Republican nominee for the United States Senate.
Collins will now advance to face Democratic incumbent Senator John Ossoff. To Oklahoma, where Trump-endorsed Congressman Kevin Hern easily won the GOP nomination for U.S. Senate. There is favored to win in November. Democrats haven't won a Senate race in Oklahoma since 1990. Dave Packer, ABC News.
And I've got a quick update from Ted Beener with traffic.
Yeah, if you're driving on northbound 405 out of Renton, we've got a new crash that is at the top of the Kennydale Hill. It is blocking the HOV lane. Really appreciate the folks who have been sharing that information on Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line.
For your forecast, it's dry with clear skies. This afternoon will warm up to the mid-70s. Right now, it's about 53 in downtown Seattle. Coming up, Patrick DeHaan from Gas Buddy breaks down what we can expect from the gas market from the U.S. and Iran as they prepare to sign a peace deal.
Nick, you know what my dad always used to say?
Oh, which thing? Let me guess. If you put anything on a hot dog besides mustard, it's un-American?
Okay, that's true. Okay, but no, about the word worry. Remember he used to say about the word worry?
Yes, that it's not a verb, but it actually is.
I know it's a verb, but Nick, his point was nothing comes from worrying. You can sit here and worry about all the news and all about the chaos in the world. You worry about your health, but nothing comes of it. You have to take action.
Right.
Like, for instance, you and I, we go into Longevity Medical Clinic. That's an action. It's about taking that action. Like, people can go go to Longevity Medical Clinic to get the free health analysis, and then they can find out how they're aging and the things they can do in order to slow down the process to have a big, full, rich life so you can enjoy a hot dog with whatever you want on it.
And now worry is a verb.
See, there you go. So it all starts for you taking action. I was a patient at Longevity long before I started doing these commercials. So get your free health analysis. Go to lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shelley Flace with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Kids are full of energy, but keeping them active in their teen years can be a challenge. Aim for an hour of physical activity every day. If they like sports, that's a great place to start. Keep the focus on fun, not winning, and encourage your child to do a variety of activities. If your child isn't meeting that 60-minute goal, gradually increase their activity in ways they enjoy. For more, talk with your pediatrician or visit healthychildren.org.
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. But if you're looking for a truly golden view, look no further than the seats on the first baseline, a.k.a. Tridenttown. Post up behind the Mariners dugout, and you get a great view of Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu, and our entire rotation at work.
Swing and a miss! Fastball upstairs, blew it by it, strike three.
Not to mention the best view of the best home run celebration in baseball. When the Trident goes up, you know a party's going down.
It is gone! Julio!
Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
Don't miss the Mariners take on the Red Sox this weekend. The fun kicks off with a fireworks night on Friday, presented by T-Mobile. Then take Dad to a game for Father's Day weekend, featuring a special ballpark-wide celebration on Sunday, presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel you attract people who tend to be compulsive or abusive?
Do you have money problems because of someone else's drinking?
Are you afraid or embarrassed to bring your friends home?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
More than half of all adults have a family history of alcoholism.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Well, the peace agreement between the U.S. and Iran is causing some movement in the global oil markets, but how soon will we see a difference at the gas pump?
So we call up Patrick DeHaan, the head of petroleum analysis at GasBuddy. Patrick, I got to thinking this morning, even if we have a peace deal on Friday and everything is good to go, we're still going to be hosed for much of the summer, aren't we, in terms of gas prices?
Yeah, to your point, prices have rolled back, but it is going to take a much longer period of time to get back to pre-war levels. Obviously, that's a big distinction because prior to the war, gas prices across Seattle were well below the $5 mark, and prices are still $1.17 a gallon more expensive than last year. So the good news is the decreases that have materialized are going to continue now as long as this deal doesn't unravel. But it certainly, to your point, will take maybe 6 to 12 months, maybe even beyond that, for gas prices to kind of fall back to their pre-war levels. And the reason it's going to take so long is that, we've lost out on 1.5, probably closer to 1.7 billion barrels of oil over these last 115 days. And that doesn't solve itself overnight. It's kind of like, what have I said, filling an Olympic-sized swimming pool with a garden hose. And that's why it's going to take a long time.
Word is U.S. oil reserves are low. Can you bring us up to speed on that situation?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is part of the problem is that, the U.S. along with Japan have been releasing oil supplies from our strategic reserve. And as part of that release, the U.S. SPR stands at its lowest level since 1983, over 40 years. So now this has been a long time in the making. This isn't just because Biden released it in 2022. It's not just because Trump released it this year. This has been growing. Congress back in 2015 decided to start mandating the sell down of the SPR because it sat there for 30 years unused. So politicians were saying, oh man, look at a money pile. Wouldn't that be great? Well, they started selling it. And now after all these mandated releases, after modernization sales, after emergency releases, the SPR is at its lowest level since 1983. And that should be worrisome. And that's part of why I'm a little pessimistic. If this deal falls through, it's not going to help out that the SPR is at its lowest level in over 40 years.
The Iranians hold all the cards here in terms of signing this deal. I think they know that. I think a lot of people in power know that. Patrick, if this deal does not go through Friday, which there's a chance it won't, how bad do things get?
Well, I mean, in the backdrop, as I've mentioned, global inventories have been declining expeditiously, and that's not slowing down. And there still is the possibility that we could reach new all-time records. So I'd like for that not to happen. Just to be clear, I don't cheerlead any outcome. I have to inform and analyze that if this outcome doesn't happen where the strait reopens, that we're still going to be in a very precarious place. And that just doesn't improve itself overnight. If and when the strait reopens, it's going to take 6, 12, or 18 months for us to fully get back to normal levels of supply.
And we're not just talking the price at the pump. Are there any metrics out there on how much the oil prices have impacted other industries?
Well, I mean, it'd probably be faster to list the industries it didn't impact, right? Because, I mean, from airfares to trucks to what you're paying, inflation, those CPI numbers are heavily influenced by the price of energy. So, and how quickly they went up. We've never seen prices, even in 2022, we have never seen prices go up for such amount of sustained time. Well over a month, prices were going up almost every day. So that is going to take probably a year to unwind all of those impacts. And that's if this deal gets signed. So pack your patience. I don't have a whole lot of it, but we're going to have to wait a very long period of time for this to completely resolve itself.
One thing I was reading this morning, Patrick, is all of these quick lube places are just in financial straits. We're talking like bankruptcies happening left and right with the franchisees. And that's because it's so expensive to get your oil change. People are putting it off. And then the oil change shop can't pay for oil in order to have it in stock. It is a doom loop in so many of these industries. I'm just curious what the data is telling you about this.
I mean, to your point, the cost of labor is not slowing down. Nobody's getting wage decreases. So yeah, I mean, as an oil and lube shop, it's got to be very difficult. The price of oil is going up 20 to 40%. Some lubes aren't even available. Some types of oil aren't even available. So substitutions, it's just a nightmare. So, people are going to put things off, and that's going to squeeze sectors. And it's not just oil and lube shops. It's probably up and down the economy. Airlines, they're getting squeezed. And now we're finding out that, people still want to take vacations. You might be able to delay your oil change, but people aren't willing to delay their vacations. So, yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of major impacts here. And this is one of them that you're mentioning.
All right. Patrick DeHaan, GasBuddy.com. Patrick, always good talking to you. Really appreciate your time this morning. Hopefully we're talking next week. And, peace is at hand and prices are plummeting. We'll keep our fingers crossed.
We'll keep our fingers crossed. Unicorns, rainbows, and everything else, right?
Patrick, thank you.
For your KIRO News Radio forecast, we'll go through some patchy fogs, but it's clearing right now for dry time, and we'll have some warming up to the mid-70s. Right now, it's about 53 in downtown Seattle. Coming up, more of the day's top headlines. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports on the rapidly moving fire near Spokane today. Plus, at 6:15, ABC News correspondent Shannon Kingston breaks down a growing skepticism among U.S. intelligence officials over a potential deal with Iran. You're listening to Seattle's Morning News. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Wendy's new Biggie Deals lets you choose whatever you're in the mood for. It's like a music mixing board of deals and you're the producer. Go with some chill folk music with a JBC in the $4 Biggie Bite snack. Try the drum and bass of deals with a double stack and a $6 Biggie bag. Or go full-on sandwich symphony with an $8 Biggie bundle, the grand finale of snacking. And the best part? They all come with napkins. $4, $6, and $8 Biggie Deals how you want them at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
It started as a puddle.
Where?
In the shower.
Uh-oh.
Then the kitchen sink.
Started backing up?
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Clogged up.
Right. No problem.
Beg your pardon?
There's no clog we can't clear.
You're Dan.
From Apollo Plumbing.
This is going to get pricey.
How about $83?
To clear my drain?
Apollo Plumbing clears main drains every day.
For $83?
$83 or it's free.
What's the catch?
No catch. We'll even do a camera inspection.
Why's that?
It's the best way to find the cause of your clog.
And it's included?
No extra charge. Truth is, we hate clogs.
I don't love them.
Seen them all.
Ew.
I promise. There's no clog Apollo can't clear.
Guaranteed.
83 or free.
Goodbye, slow drains.
All it takes is an accessible clean out.
And Apollo gets my drains draining again.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
My heroes.
Just doing our job.
Thank you, Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
I was walking my dog, I fell and ended up with 3 tears in my meniscus. I was sent to a surgeon and they said the only way to get this fixed is to have surgery. That just wasn't an option. I didn't want to jump into surgery without trying anything else.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. We offer Jamie an alternative to the downtime and potential risks associated with invasive knee surgery. At Sound Pain Solutions, we help patients like Jamie avoid the side effects of painkillers, cortisone injections, and pain following surgery. Our comprehensive approach includes treatments like pressure wave, PRP, and advanced laser. These treatments reduce pain and restore mobility naturally. Now Jamie is able to do everything she enjoys without pain.
I'm grateful for being able to wake up every day and not be in pain. To be able to go about my day has been amazing.
Schedule a free consultation to learn if you qualify for our non-surgical and drug-free joint treatments at soundpainsolutions.com.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair during their once-yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185, advancedhair.com.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Experience the thrill of seeing orcas and humpback whales with Puget Sound Express. Join their family-run tours for guaranteed whale sightings departing daily from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Book now at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Your best source for local news, KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. We could get more details as soon as today on the peace deal the U.S. and Iran are supposed to sign Friday. Early today, President Trump in France only saying it's a strong deal.
Top Republicans on Capitol Hill have been left in the dark. Democrats say the Trump administration has something to hide. Vice President J.D. Vance has described the agreement as a very general document, about a page and a half long. The U.S. agreeing to lift the blockade of Iranian ports, Iran reopening the Strait of Hormuz, and then 60 days of talks to negotiate the future of Iran's nuclear program. Still unclear what kind of financial reward Iran has been promised.
It's ABC's Rachel Scott. This morning, the president demanded Congress pass both a reauthorization of a key intelligence program and a voter ID law, while also delaying his nomination of a U.S. attorney to take over as director of national intelligence. Wildfires are threatening thousands of homes in eastern Washington state. Firefighters say some homes have been lost. This is ABC News. There's positive news about the health of the youngest Americans. ABC's Jim Ryan says infant mortality in the U.S. is at its lowest ever rate.
Preliminary data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention finds that 5.4 babies per 1,000 born in 2025 didn't make it to their first birthday. As tragic as it is, it's the lowest rate in U.S. history. The decline was only fractions of a percentage point below the 2024 figure, but in hard numbers represented hundreds of lives.
The Department of Education took another step towards permanently shutting down a goal of President Trump, moving special education services to the Department of Health and Human Services and its civil rights responsibilities to the Department of Justice. Authorities in Washington state say the two teenagers were injured during a bear encounter on Mount Si east of Seattle. One was attacked by the bear. Both were able to make their way back to a group of friends. The trails were closed as authorities search for the bear. I'm Brian Clark, ABC News.
At 6:02, here's what we're following. The FBI is investigating a shooting involving a U.S. Border Patrol agent in Blaine. Happened early yesterday near 4th and A Street, close to the Canadian border. The suspect was shot and hospitalized. A gun was recovered at the scene. No agents were hurt. Ferry engineers say Washington State's system is not ready for World Cup crowds. The union representing 400 Marine engineers holds a news conference at Coleman Dock at 1 this afternoon. They warn that staffing shortages and a pay gap will mean missed sailings, even with the state promising 20 boats and extra crews on standby. And the Mariners are rolling at home. Cal Raleigh is back in the lineup, delivering a 2-run single in the 7th to beat the Orioles 3-1 last night. First pitch tonight at 6:40. Time to get a check on traffic now. Every 10 minutes on the 3s. Sully is off today, so we go again to Ted Beener.
Thank you, Charlie. This traffic report is brought to you by Harbor Stone Credit Union. The big news so far this morning on northbound 405 at the top of the Kennydale Hill. We got a pair of crashes involving several cars and a motorcycle. They are all blocking the HOV lane. Traffic is backed up into the Renton curves. Your Renton to Bellevue drive time has climbed to 35 minutes. That is a 20-minute delay. Otherwise, your Wednesday morning commute is getting underway. Other slowdowns include eastbound 512 through the Puyallup area. Northbound 167 has got slowing from Algona to 15th. And northbound I-5, a little sluggish as you go through the Nisqually Valley up the hill towards DuPont. Also up the hill from the Fife Curve and from 320th to 272nd. Coming in from the north end, southbound I-5 is doing pretty well, while southbound 405 is starting to feel that merge crowding as you go through the Canyon Park area. Drive times, Arlington to Everett, 15 minutes. Everett to Seattle, Bellevue, both of those hanging right around just under a half hour. Olympia to Tacoma through J.B. is 35 minutes, while Tacoma to Seattle is now up to 55 minutes. And your Puyallup to Renton drive time is 43 minutes. Earn up to $30 per month just for using your Harbor Stone PNW Cashback debit card. Open your free checking account online today at harborstone.com/cash. I'm Ted Beener with KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's Morning News.
Good morning at 6:04. I'm Charlie Harger. Manda has the day off. The state's first major wildfire of the year is in Spokane County. Homes have burned, and it's threatening hundreds more. It is spreading quickly, and KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey joins us live with the latest.
Yeah, good morning, Charlie. So here's what it sounds like at the scene of the Upriver Fire, which started just yesterday. A lot of planes, a lot of helicopters dropping water, as you can see on our YouTube feed as well. Also on our YouTube feed, I dropped a couple of maps on social media of Spokane County where this fire is. I want to show you that, but also where the evacuations are taking place. So it's so close to downtown Spokane. So you see that area just east of the city. Then the section in red that you see, those are level 3 evacuation areas in neighborhoods, being told to get your stuff and get out now. I mean, here's Fire Chief Matthew Vinci.
Yeah, 11,790 people are under evacuation. 2,340 primary and secondary structures are under evacuation.
You heard the wind in that microphone there. That's a huge problem in that area. Gusts up to 30 miles per hour, helping get those flames just moving really fast across the plains there in these areas. The fire stretches across about 300 acres. As of last night, it was 0% contained. No injuries. That's the good news, but several homes have been destroyed. No word when folks will be able to get back to their neighborhood.
Folks definitely want to see their home. I'd want to see my home too, but stay out of the area and let us do our work. Let our skilled professionals do their work.
So, Charlie, they don't know yet how or where this fire started. There are about a dozen fires across eastern Washington right now. This one, though, the closest by far to all those homes and those evacuations.
And it's just June 17th. This doesn't have good foresight for what's about to come this summer.
It's going to be a long summer.
Yeah.
It really is.
Luke Ducey reporting live. 6:06 now. 2 teens are recovering after a bear attack on Mount Si near North Bend. This happened yesterday afternoon. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Nia Bliss.
Officers say the bear charged at the teen, clawing him. While Keenan never saw the actual attack, he did witness the injured teen hiker escorted down Mount Si by King County Search and Rescue.
The bear scratched him up. His extremity, his whole legs were scratched up. He could really barely walk.
King County Search and Rescue believe the group encountered a mama and her cub. That bear is still out there. The Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife say that this trailhead will remain closed until they get that bear.
Wild overnight chase through Seattle ends with 5 armed robbery suspects in custody. According to KIRO 7 TV, Seattle police chased the suspects across multiple precincts before the pursuit ended on State Route 99 around 4 this morning. It's all the info we have, but we will bring you the latest as we learn more.
Keeping you informed since 1974.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's morning news on KIRO Newsradio.
Well, here we are, Wednesday, June 17th. I'm Charlie Harger. Manda Factor and Chris Sullivan are off for the rest of the week, but Ted Beener is here, filling in for Sully. You have traffic on the 3s. Meteorologist time, though, Ted. This feels early for fire season.
It is way early. Already a dozen wildfires in eastern Washington. This raises concerns.
Yeah, all right. Well, we will stay on top of that. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has returned. It's good to see him. And Nick Krasia, who's running the board and playing the songs. You were at the Mariners game last night. How did Cal look?
Oh, the first couple at bats, I feel like he, just missed a few home runs in my opinion, and then he came in clutch as the guys ducks on the pond at second and third. He got that 2-run single, and that ended up winning the game for him. So it was a nice little return for him.
Could you feel in the seats, Nick? Was the wind kind of weird? It felt like fly balls were not tracking quite as far.
The wind maybe was going inward towards home plate, so the ball wasn't carrying as much. It was a low scoring affair, and Logan Gilbert also came through, too, only allowing 1 run for the Orioles. So it was a good outing for the Mariners at home.
That's 1 win we need in the AL West. Thanks, Nick. This hour, Seattle's Morning News, sponsored by American Crawl Space and Pest Control. Coming up this hour, we'll hear from ABC News State Department correspondent Shannon Kingston. There is growing skepticism among U.S. intelligence officials over the Iran deal. Plus, ABC's Jim Ryan will join the show to talk about this is some fantastic news. The U.S. is seeing an all-time low in infant mortality. That's on the way here on Seattle's Morning News. 6:09 now. There was gunfire near the border in Blaine.
I sat straight up in bed because I heard gunshots. I want to say 3.
FBI is investigating the shooting involving a border agent. KIRO 7 TV's Jason Slosser reports it happened around 5:30 yesterday morning in front of a home.
A neighbor posted a photo on social media saying the guy who was shot was hit in the leg and went down in her driveway. The FBI says a gun was recovered at the scene. The FBI says it was an isolated incident with no threat to the public. No reports of anyone else who was hurt.
U.S. Attorney's Office tells Seattle Red 770 AM the suspect was known to law enforcement, had a criminal history. A weekend sting operation on Aurora Avenue rescued more than a dozen women and children. Seattle Police Department says officers were targeting human trafficking in the area. Investigators say they connected 10 adult victims with shelter and support services. They placed 3 children into protective care. During the sweep, police arrested 6 people accused of trying to exploit children. All 6 suspects now face felony charges. Authorities in Pierce County warning against homemade fireworks after a powerful blast shook homes in Lakewood.
The Pierce County Bomb Squad was called to a home near Steilacoom Boulevard Southwest and Bridgeport Way Southwest just after 3 p.m. last Saturday. When they arrived, they found a 47-year-old man with life-altering injuries. Investigators say the man admitted he was mixing black powder in a Ninja blender when it exploded. Deputy Carly Capetto says the man is a victim and a suspect, too.
This is a crime. You cannot make bombs. You can't make homemade fireworks. We are just thankful that other people did not get their hands on these homemade devices.
The man will likely face charges after he recovers. James Lynch, KIRO Newsradio.
To Kitsap County, where deputies say a 19-year-old man suspected of being high on mushrooms crashed through a closed garage door in Bremerton. This happened early yesterday morning at an apartment complex just after 2:30. The car crashed through the garage door, hit another car, and then drove away. He returned to the scene, however, was arrested. Here's Kitsap County Sheriff's spokesperson Kevin McCarty.
He faces potential charges of driving under the influence, hit and run, malicious mischief, and obstructing a law enforcement officer.
The man is due in court later this week. Mariners pitchers put on a show last night against the Baltimore Orioles, with starter Logan Gilbert demonstrating his most dominant performance of the season.
The stretch and the 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with a splitter. Another strikeout for Logan. 10 strikeouts along the way. He has retired 19 of the last 20 Orioles hitters he has faced. That's going to be it for Logan Gilbert tonight, who is absolutely sensational. Listen to the ovation for the big right-hander walking toward the Mariners' first base dugout. A standing ovation for Logan Gilbert. He has done his job tonight and then some.
Well, with 7 innings for Logan, 2 hits, 1 run, 10 strikeouts. They had a 3-1 win to open the home series. Tonight's game is at 6:40. George Kirby takes the mound, and you can catch every pitch on our sister station, 710 Seattle Sports. 6:12 now. Let's get a check on the weather. We're joined by KIRO 7 meteorologist Nick Allard. Nick, Ted Beener and I were just talking a moment ago about just how unusual it feels to have wildfire season starting in the middle of June.
Oh, yeah, we have the good portion of eastern Washington in the moderate drought category already. If you look at western Washington, I think it's about, of the past, 40 months, 31 have finished below average. Not consistently, but 31 have finished below average. We're actually above average for rainfall in June so far, but we're not going to see anything. So I think it'll be another month with below average rainfall. And we have temperatures that by probably Monday, Tuesday could be back into the upper 80s and lower 90s again. So we'll cool off today. That cool down continues. We'll be in the mid to upper 70s, just like we were yesterday. A little bit of low cloud cover and then just sunshine. And then I think you'll be in the upper 70s and lower 80s through the weekend for Father's Day, for the World Cup, for first day of summer. And then it looks like we'll be in the upper 80s and maybe lower 90s for some places again on Monday and Tuesday. So I don't really have any precipitation coming in. And yeah, we are in it now. Summer is not going anywhere.
Yeah, got to be super vigilant about fire hazards. So thank you, Nick. Right now in Seattle, it's 53. Time to check traffic on the 3s. Speaking of Ted Beener, he is filling in for Sully at the traffic desk.
Thank you, Charlie. And I'm going to top that off. We are now on track for one of our warmest Junes in the top 10 if we keep this going.
Yeah, if we hit 90 or at least upper 80s next week, that could be something.
All right, something's going on. All right, speaking of that, this traffic report is brought to you by Global Credit Union. We got something going on out there in the roads. Response teams, they're working on clearing a multiple vehicle crash, including a motorcycle on northbound 405 at the top of Kennydale Hill. Both the HOV and left general purpose lane are blocked. Traffic is backed up into the Renton curves. Your Renton to Bellevue drive time, that is now up over 35 minutes. That's about a 20-minute delay. You may want to consider alternates until they clear this. Otherwise, your Wednesday morning commute, traffic volumes are rising. Driving in from the north end, southbound I-5 has some braking from 128 down to the 405 split. And southbound 405 has merge crowding as you go through Canyon Park. From the south end, northbound I-5, that's got brake lights from Marvin Road to the Nisqually River, around the Fife Curve up the hill to State Route 18, and from about 320th and Federal Way up to Midway. Northbound 167 slows from Sumner to near Pacific and from State Route 18 to near 15th. Drive times, Federal Way to Seattle, that is 36 minutes. 22 of those are from South Center. Puyallup to Renton is 45 minutes. And coming in from Snohomish County, Everett to Seattle Bellevue, both of those are right now around a half hour. The Narrows and Lake Bridges are moving well. Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Ted Biener.
News matters. Experience counts. You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
While U.S. and Iranian officials prepare to gather in Switzerland on Friday and sign a deal to enact a 60-day ceasefire and reopen the Strait of Hormuz, we're hearing pessimism from U.S. intelligence agencies over whether Iran will actually agree to the U.S. demands on the use of nuclear energy. We're joined now by ABC News State Department correspondent Shannon Kingston. And Shannon, I think a lot of people are waking up today and hearing, wait a second, we launch strikes, Iran may get billions, perhaps hundreds of billions, and now our own intelligence says Iran probably will not give us the nuclear concessions we want. What are you hearing from your sources?
Well, that's right, Charlie. There are a lot of questions yet to be answered, but we are learning a little bit more about what happened in all of those very classified national security meetings leading up to the initial agreement on this memorandum of understanding. During those meetings in the Situation Room in the Oval Office, the CIA director presented intelligence to the president and the cabinet that was gathered by U.S. agencies that really does portray a pretty pessimistic outlook on whether the Iranian regime is ultimately going to be willing to give the Trump administration those big nuclear concessions that they're after. And these findings were largely based on signals intelligence, so that's intercepted chatter, communication between senior Iranian officials that shows, these intelligence agencies report, that Iranian negotiators were saying one thing to the mediators that were communicating with the Trump administration and quite another thing behind their backs about where this is all headed.
So basically, the Iranians say one thing to Witkoff and Kushner, and then, when they get on the phone and talk to the IRGC, instead that becomes, well, I think we got these guys. Is that simplification?
That's basically it, Charlie. It's a pretty good, rundown of what's going on here. But it is, of course, important to remember there are always two sides to the story, right? I mean, the Iranians, just like the Americans, have to spin this to their population. They have actually even more complications because the government of Iran is so fractured right now. They really have to get everybody on board. So there is some salesmanship that goes into this. But you also have to remember that so much of this initial memorandum of understanding, yes, some of it is down on paper, but a lot of it is based off of verbal assurances that have been made between the two parties here on the direction they expect the detailed nuclear negotiations to take once they get down to brass tacks. So they really are, at least on the side of U.S. officials, relying on a basic level of trust that they really are pretty much on the same page, and it won't take them long to dot I's and cross T's here.
We're speaking with Shannon Kingston with ABC News. Shannon, what are the fault lines within the White House on this, those in favor and those opposed to the deal?
It appears that the hawks have gotten more hawkish, and I'm talking about the Secretary of Defense, Secretary of State, and the CIA Director, Ratcliffe himself. They have always been, pretty wary of whether Iran is going to be in a place to actually negotiate and actually come to the table on these very big nuclear questions. But what I am told by officials close to those three is that we shouldn't expect any public breaks right now, even though they have been very much on one side during all of these private debates that have been playing out. They do understand that the president makes the decision at the end of the day, and there are some very real pragmatic issues that they feel that this memorandum of understanding could address. First and foremost is fully opening up the Strait of Hormuz, because even though the nuclear question looms over all of this, getting energy exports flowing through that strategic waterway again is very high on the agenda.
How would you characterize the president's viewpoint on this deal this morning?
Well, I'll say the president doesn't appear too happy right now. Just moments ago, he did answer some questions, and he said that with this memorandum of understanding, if he doesn't like it, quote, we'll go back to shooting at them, dropping bombs on their head, dropping bombs right smack in the middle of their head is what he said. So plenty of, strong words from the president, at least right now. And what to expect from the Iranians? Well, that is a very good question. We do know that there has been some chatter about getting a public statement, at least from the Ayatollah. He will, of course, not be present in Geneva for the physical signing of this document. So they are trying to, behind the scenes at least, construct some kind of fairly united front. But those puzzle pieces are still very much moving around.
Okay, so you're the State Department correspondent. How unusual is it for some sort of deal to be reached with any government and they have the intelligence community verify that the government is in favor of it?
It does change from time to time, going back all the way to the Obama-era nuclear deal, the JCPOA. There were questions in the intelligence there, but it was very much a different picture. And typically these negotiations, in the case of the JCPOA, that was about a 15-month-long process, and you did have the representatives of the negotiating parties coming together. There were these relationships that were built. So I think that even beyond the intelligence, there was maybe a deeper level of understanding. Here we have heard senior administration officials, they do feel like they have those relationships, but because these talks have been so indirect, happening mostly through mediators, there's just very different. It is really putting apples to oranges in so many cases.
ABC News State Department correspondent Shannon Kingston. Shannon, great talking to you for the first time, and I look forward to conversations in the future.
Absolutely, Charlie. Thank you so much.
6:22 now. An admitted serial killer faces justice today on New York's Long Island. Some of the families of Rex Heuermann's 8 victims are expected to appear in court, some who have waited decades for closure. Here's ABC's Phil Tate.
As part of a plea deal, a judge is expected to issue 3 life sentences without the possibility of parole for the murder of 3 women. Heuermann faced an additional consecutive sentence of 100 years to life in prison for the killings of 4 other women. Now, he admitted to murdering an 8th woman, but he won't be prosecuted for that crime, but must cooperate with the FBI.
And Lionel Messi is back in the World Cup, leading Argentina past Algeria. Here's ABC's Sophie Flay.
Lionel Messi and defending champs Argentina kicking off the World Cup with a win.
Lionel Messi!
Superstar Lionel Messi scoring 3 times, a hat trick in a rout of Algeria.
It's 6:23. Time to check traffic every 10 minutes on the threes with Ted Biener.
Thank you, Charlie. Well, the big news here is on northbound 405. We've got response teams continuing to work on clearing a multiple vehicle crash that included a motorcycle. That is at the top of the Kennydale Hill. Both the HOV and left general purpose lane, they are blocked. Traffic is backed up all the way down into the Renton curves. Your Renton to Bellevue drive time, that is climbed now to about 40 minutes. That's a 25-minute delay. You may want to consider alternates until that thing is cleared out of there. Otherwise, more cars are joining your Wednesday morning commute. Slowdowns, they include eastbound 512 as you go through Puyallup. Northbound 167 slows from Sumner to Pacific, and again from State Route 18 to near 15th. And northbound I-5 has slowing from Marvin Road into the Nisqually Valley, up the hill from the Fife Curve, and from 320th to past 200th. From the north end, southbound I-5 has some braking from 128 to the 405 split, while southbound 405, that's got slowing from Canyon Park to 522. Drive times, Arlington to Everett, 15 minutes. Everett to Seattle Bellevue are now both near 40 minutes. Olympia to Tacoma through JBLM, that is 36 minutes. Tacoma to Seattle, that has risen to an hour and 10 minutes. And your Puyallup to Renton drive time, that is 46 minutes. I'm Ted Biener with KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic.
And it'll be mostly to partly sunny and warm, even approaching hot the next several days. There's no rain in the forecast. 75 today, 78 tomorrow, 83 on Friday, 76 on Saturday, 80 on Sunday. And you might have just heard Nick Allard joining us. He says upper 80s, maybe even touching 90 on Monday and Tuesday. Right now, it's 55 and mostly sunny in Seattle. Coming up here on KIRO News Radio, more of the day's top stories. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports on a bear attack that took place on Mount Si yesterday. Trails in that area now shut down. Luke will have the details, and we'll have the opening bell report. This is Seattle's Morning News.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Pump up the volume. Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Give something that matters this Father's Day. Time at LeMay, America's Car Museum. You'll share stories, laughter, and interest in something new. All ages will find enjoyment from the most advanced racing simulators in the world to children's activities and grab lunch at Cafe El Coreano. It's more than a visit. It's a lifelong memory for dads and kids of every age. It's the gift you'll never forget. Plan today at americascarmuseum.org. That's americascarmuseum.org.
I had pain, I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Let's say you get into a car accident. You end up getting hurt. You're missing work, and now the insurance company wants you to handle the paperwork yourself while you're still recovering. Here's what happens when you go it alone. They throw out a lowball offer. You're on defense from minute one, and you're scraping for a fair shake against people who do this for a living. But here's what happens when you call Harold Carr Law Offices. They handle everything. The paperwork, the negotiation, the insurance company, all of it. You focus on getting better. They focus on getting you what you actually deserve. And trust me, that number is almost always higher than what you would have walked away with on your own. 7 locations across Western Washington, a huge qualified team, and a free consultation at carlaw.com. Carr is spelled with 2 R's, C-A-R-R. They'll actually listen to you and give you an honest assessment without any pressure. That's carlaw.com. 2 R's in car. Car accident? Call Carr. C-A-R-R. carlaw.com.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. Summer means I have a laundry list of exterior home improvements to tackle and no time to do it. Fortunately, the team in the red van has me covered. And of course, I'm talking about Valentine Roofing, the pros that keep me off extension ladders and precarious positions. If your summer home improvement list has a new roof, siding, or a gutter upgrade, you owe it to your home to give Valentine Roofing a call. Once again, they've been awarded the 2025 Best in the Pacific Northwest Awards for Roofing by the Seattle Times. And it really comes down to 2 things. The best product, backed by a lifetime warranty, and exceptional customer service. They call that the Valentine Experience. It's seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, and extra mile service. And right now, qualified homeowners can take advantage of $0 down, 0% financing, with 6 months deferred interest when paid in full within the promotional period. Financing subject to approved credit. Call 206 Roofing to schedule your free estimate today. That's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
Nothing worse than clutter. With Closets by Design, everything will finally have its place. 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. ClosetsByDesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from Eastlake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Charlie Harger. 2 teens are recovering after a bear attacked them near North Bend yesterday morning. Happened along a popular trail on Mount Si. Fish and wildlife officers still searching for that bear. And KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is live with the latest.
Yes, scary stuff, Charlie. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you listening have hiked Mount Si. This happened to a group of 3 hikers. 2 of them were attacked a little more than 2.5 miles up the trail. Another hiker told KIRO 7 TV he talked with one of the victims right after that attack.
He said that the bear kept after him and that it kept swatting at him.
And that one of the victims was pretty badly injured.
The bear scratched him up. His extremities, his whole legs were scratched up. He could really barely walk.
According to Fish and Wildlife, the last recorded bear attack with injuries was back in 2022. If you're watching on our YouTube feed, there are a number of reported black bear sightings across Puget Sound, according to Woodland Park Zoo. This was across the last year. All those black dots that you're about to see on the screen, there are a lot of them. But if you're not watching, a lot of them are mostly not in the wilderness. They're closer to, in the foothills of towns like Cougar Mountain, Tiger Mountain, in those areas. Now add in mountain lions and bobcats, and you can see those dots on that screen really, really grow. So in this case, a second group of hikers was also apparently followed by a black bear. Don't know if it was the same bear, but there was no contact with that group. For that one hiker, though, who was attacked, well, he kept walking down the mountain to safety despite his injuries.
He said, I wanted to keep going because I wanted to see another birthday. He was really, really afraid.
Yeah, you can imagine he was afraid. All trails on Mount Si are closed right now, Charlie. So what do you do if you see a black bear on a trail? Maybe this is a good time to, remind you, back away slowly, make yourself big, talk to the bear, but don't run. Whatever you do, do not run. They think that you're prey at that point. Also, Fish and Wildlife recommend carrying bear spray and know how to use it. I know I do.
Yeah, well, and think about what time of year it is. It might have been a mama bear, and they are very protective of their cubs.
Yeah, and they've got to look for the bear now, and we know what might happen. So let's see what happens.
Luke Ducey reporting live. 6 people are in jail after a major human trafficking sting on Seattle's Aurora Avenue. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin.
Seattle police say 10 women and 3 minors were found being sexually and financially exploited along this area over the weekend. Those victims were helped by the county's Human Services Department. That way they could get a safe place to stay and get basic needs provided. They say the 6 people arrested are now charged with felony offenses. This is an increased effort by SPD during the World Cup as well. The King County Prosecutor's Office says they anticipate the buying and selling of sex will increase as people from all over the world visit Seattle.
That's KIRO 7's Brooke Griffin. Time to check traffic now every 10 minutes. Sully is off today, so we check in with Ted Beener.
Thank you. This traffic report is brought to you by Subaru of Puyallup. One big crash to highlight, and it is on northbound 405, where response teams, they're still working to clear a multiple vehicle crash that included a motorcycle at the top of the Kennydale Hill. Now only the HOV lane is blocked, but traffic moving through the pair of general purpose lanes. Traffic, though, is backed up into the Renton curves. Your Renton to Bellevue drive time, that is up to 45 minutes. That's a 25-minute delay. May want to consider alternates, although they should be clearing that, hopefully, pretty soon. Otherwise, your Wednesday morning commute, getting busy. Driving in from the north end, southbound I-5 slows across the Snohomish Valley and from the Boeing Freeway to past 128. Southbound 405 is braking from before Canyon Park to 522. Coming in from the south end, northbound I-5 slows from the Nisqually River to DuPont, from the Tacoma Dome to the Fife Curve, and from 320th to past 200th, and now from South Boeing Field into downtown. Northbound 167 slows from State Route 18 to near Willis. Drive times, Federal Way to Seattle, that is 45 minutes, a 10-minute delay. 25 minutes of those are from South Center. Puyallup to Renton, that is up to 50 minutes. And coming in from the north end, Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, both of those are close to 50 minutes. The Narrows and Lake Bridges, though, are moving rather well. Subaru of Puyallup has dependable, fuel-efficient, all-wheel drive models, including the redesigned Subaru Outback. Find stress-free pricing and offers at SubaruofPuyallup.com. Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Ted Wiener.
Partly to mostly sunny the next several days with highs in the upper 70s to low 80s. We might even be topping out closer to 90 on Monday and Tuesday. Downtown right now, it is partly sunny and 53.
From ABC News, Wall Street now. The Dow Jones built on Monday's gains yesterday to close at an all-time high. The industrials briefly rose above 52,000 for the first time during the day. The S&P and NASDAQ, meanwhile, gave up some of their gains from Monday. The Federal Reserve's Board of Governors wraps up its latest two-day meeting today, the first with Kevin Warsh as chair. President Trump has been pushing the Fed to drop interest rates, but economists say that given inflation, that's unlikely to happen today. Carvana, the company with its signature vehicle vending machines, is threatening to shake up the car buying market. It's expanding into new car sales, quietly purchasing 7 franchises that sell Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles. Yum Brands has cooked up the sale of one of its biggest fast food chains, but one that's been a drag on its bottom line. It's selling off Pizza Hut for $2.7 billion to focus on its faster-growing Taco Bell and KFC brands. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
President Trump isn't offering many details on the agreement with Iran he said has been released. ABC News senior political correspondent Rachel Scott is traveling with the president.
Still unclear what kind of financial reward Iran has been promised. The Wall Street Journal reports the agreement allows Iran to start selling oil immediately. Trump's former ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, saying if this is true, Iran wins.
From ABC News Tech Trends. With schools letting out for the summer, a lot of kids will have a lot more time on their hands. And that could mean a lot more screen time. Google is the latest giant to step up with its parent controls. It's now expanding its Android parental controls, which were introduced on its Pixel lineup, to any device that could update to Android 17. That will allow parents to do things like set screen time limits and control what apps kids can use. More ads may be coming to your video games. EA, home to games that run the gambit between Madden to The Sims, is launching a new division, EA Advertising. The company says it'll work with brands to embed ads right in the gameplay. And veterans who've lost their sight could now get some new smart glasses. Meta's offering Ray-Ban Meta glasses to legally blind vets. About 130,000 people are eligible. The AI-powered glasses could help them read, get around, and keep track of their day. Meta's also offering training for any vet that gets a pair. With Tech Trends, Dave Packer, ABC News.
SpaceX has passed Amazon in market value. Elon Musk's rocket company has surged since its record-setting IPO. At its peak yesterday, SpaceX was worth about $2.9 trillion, compared with Amazon's roughly $2.6 trillion. SpaceX, now the 5th most valuable company on the planet, with trade sharing at about $202. It's up 40% from its market debut on Friday. Florida children 14 years and younger will no longer have access to TikTok. This after a state lawsuit against the app's parent company saying TikTok is violating current law to protect children online. Florida's Attorney General James Uthmeyer called the TikTok situation a crisis.
TikTok happens to be one of the most egregious social media applications when it comes to the dangers that are there at the fingertips of kids. harmful sexual content, addictive features. They designed the application with unlimited scrolling, push notifications, videos that just go nonstop, and it's designed to keep kids stuck on those screens for hours and hours a day.
State of Florida also alleges the company misrepresents how often users, including young teens, are exposed to harmful content. On Wall Street right now, we're opening in positive territory with the Dow up 87 points, the S&P 500 ahead by 4, and the NASDAQ is up by 58. We're here for KIRO 7 TV. As the world watches Seattle, KIRO 7 News will take you beyond the matches. Live team coverage inside the best fan experiences, unique local stories, and the lasting impact of the games for our community. Connect to the Cup. Watch live in every newscast only on KIRO 7 TV. All right, Ted, we have traffic coming up. Where will we start?
Well, the big story is the crash on northbound 405 at the Kennedale Hill. I'll have the latest on that in just a few moments.
The opening bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
Jason Rance here. If your water heater is getting older, leaking, or running out of hot water, CM Heating has an affordable solution. Get a new gas or electric water heater installed starting at just $44.99 a month. With CM Heating's Comfort as a Service program, you'll get lifetime repairs and maintenance at no extra charge. Parts and labor covered for life. Plus, same-day installation is available in many cases. Schedule your free estimate today at cmheating.com.
License number CMHEAHL 750LP.
G and Ursula on KIRO News Radio.
You're not going to be able to stop what's going to happen.
I hope he's successful.
9 to noon, streaming live on your smart speaker.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She could get a deal, book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, it saved time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
You pay what we pay. Ford employee pricing is on now at Kendall Ford of Marysville. From Ford trucks and SUVs to Broncos, Mustangs, and more. Get in on incredible savings on select 2025 and 2026 Fords and get real American value. Bring on those warmer weather adventures in a new Ford and save thousands. Take those adventures off-road in a new 2025 Ford Bronco Badlands 4x4 and save over $7,100 off MSRP. Feel the all-electric exhilaration of a new all-wheel drive 2025 Ford Mustang Mach-E GT. Now over $11,500 off MSRP. With Ford employee pricing, you can buy like an employee and save like an employee. Get in on the savings and stop by Kendall Ford of Marysville today. Kendall. Let's start something great.
VIN number 1F SLB 83112 and 3F SMA 54938. All factory rebates subject to change. Prices not include taxes, title, or license. Subject to prior sales. See for details. Offer expires 6/30/26.
Traffic every 10 minutes on the threes, and look at that. It's 6:43, so we check in again with Ted Biener.
On the threes, as usual, this traffic report is brought to you by the Seattle Mariners. Well, the big story, it's on northbound 405 at the top of the Kennedale Hill. Response teams continue to work on clearing a multiple vehicle crash. That includes a motorcycle. Now, only the HOV lane is blocked. We got traffic moving through the pair of general purpose lanes. Traffic, though, is backed up into the Renton curves. Your Renton to Bellevue drive time, that is right around 45 minutes. That's about a 25-minute delay. Otherwise, your Wednesday morning commute, well underway. Slowdowns, they include eastbound 512 through Puyallup, northbound 167 from State Route 18 to near Willis, and northbound I-5 slows from Marvin Road into the Nisqually Valley, from the Tacoma Dome up the hill, from the Fife Curve, that's usually thanks to that sun glare, and from 320th to past 200th, as well as from the south end of Boeing Field into downtown. Now, from the north end, southbound I-5 is braking from 88th and Marysville across the Snohomish Valley, and from the Boeing Freeway into Linwood, while southbound 405 slows from Fort Canyon Park to the 160 at the interchange. Drive times, Arlington to Everett, 17 minutes. Everett to Seattle is 42 minutes, while down to Bellevue, that is now 52 minutes. Olympia to Tacoma through JBLM is 35 minutes. Tacoma to Seattle, that is now up to an hour and 20 minutes. And your Puyallup to Renton drive time is about 45 minutes. Don't miss fireworks nights all summer long, presented by T-Mobile. The next show is June 19th, this Friday. Get your tickets at mariners.com/fireworks. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Ted Wiener.
In Seattle, mostly sunny and 75 today, 78 tomorrow. Taking a look at temperatures around the state, it looks like the Tri-Cities remain the hot spot. 65 right now, and in Seattle, about 9 degrees cooler, 56. Coming up on Seattle's Morning News, we're joined by ABC's Jim Ryan, who has some new data from the CDC that is showing a positive trend for infant health in the United States. We'll talk about that coming up on Seattle's Morning News.
Are you a homeowner, 62 or older, and realize that your Social Security and other income may not carry you through your retirement years? Have you ever thought about a reverse mortgage? Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at Tila Mortgage, a local company serving Washington residents for 30 years. And if you want to know how a reverse mortgage works or have questions like, are reverse mortgages safe? Will I still own my home? Or do I really have the option of not making monthly mortgage payments? Call Tila for a no-pressure conversation. They'll answer your questions with personalized recommendations and loan options that can safely help you improve your monthly cash flow, increase your available income, pay off debt, or make home improvements. Call Tila today. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Call 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
Insurance and property taxes are borrower's responsibility. Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
Please be advised. You may want to stop eating the following foods immediately: broccoli, kale, bean sprouts, blueberries, quinoa, spinach.
Wait, what? I thought those were good for me.
Turns out, not for everyone. Because what's healthy for one person can cause inflammation for another. And the only way to really know what your body needs is to listen to it.
Listen how?
That's where Viome comes in. Viome is a simple at-home gut health test that looks at your body's real-time biology using RNA to understand what's happening inside you right now. When your results come in, you'll learn exactly which foods to eat, which to avoid, and which supplements are right for you, all based on the world's largest RNA-based human biology database and thousands of clinical research studies. And many people who use Viome report more energy, better digestion, and a better mood within months. So stop guessing. Start knowing. Learn more at Viome.com/gut. V as in Victor, IOME.com/GUT. And use coupon code GUTHEALTH50 to save $50 off your purchase. Viome. Trust your gut.
Say goodbye to clogged gutters and climbing ladders. With K-Guard by Guardian, leaves stay out, water flows freely, and your home stays protected year-round. Enjoy true peace of mind. No maintenance and no rust. Choose from a variety of colors to match your home's look and boost your curb appeal. Ready for hassle-free gutters? Protect what matters most with Guardian, the original Make Your Roof Last company. Visit GuardianRoofing.com to learn more.
Bringing you Seattle's morning news since 1974. This is KIRO Newsradio.
6:48 now, and some genuinely good news this morning. Never before has the infant mortality rate in the United States been so low. That's according to the CDC, which released data showing that for every 1,000 births, only 5.4 infants has life-costing complications. That's still a high number for families who go through it, but it is something that is widely considered as a great milestone. What is the reason for this good news? Well, let's call up ABC News correspondent Jim Ryan for more details. All right, Jim, what are we doing right in the U.S.?
Well, it's likely that it's several things in combination, Charlie, not just one thing, but it's public health, it's medical advances, certainly it's ensuring that women have access to health care prenatally, that their children have access after they're born. So, yeah, those things seem all to be playing into this. But you're right, 5.4 infant deaths per 1,000 live births. If you're the parents of one of those 5.4 infants, it's heartbreaking. But these numbers have gone down in the last couple of years and stand at their lowest ever. The number actually spiked somewhat, Charlie, a couple of years ago, 2022. because of a rebound in RSV, that respiratory virus, and flu infections as well. It was twice the rate as that found in Italy, Japan, Spain, and Sweden. We're still above those countries when it comes to infant mortality.
Jim, you noted in your story that this, even though it's down only fractionally, this is really encouraging. And there are numbers behind how many lives have been saved because of this lower number.
Well, absolutely. I mean, percentages are one thing, but if you look at the hard numbers, it's quite significant. 19,350 children died before their first birthday last year. It was over 20,000 the year before that, and higher than that the year before that, 2023. So the number has been creeping downward, which is good news. But yeah, you're right. I mean, as tragic as the numbers are, something is going right in this country. I suspect that public health officials here will be traveling to places like Spain and Japan to try to figure out exactly what they're doing right. Their infant mortality rates are still less than half of what ours are.
So any indication what they're doing there that is so right, if we're talking half the rate?
Probably access, funding for medical research and treatment as well. Things that, it's countries strapped for cash right now. It's also not spread across the board evenly within this country, Charlie. The death rate for infants born to black women is higher than it is for white, Hispanic, and Asian Americans. And across the country, geographically, Mississippi had the highest infant mortality rate. It's almost twice the national average. New Hampshire had the lowest at just under 3 per 1,000.
Well, this is something, obviously, the day will come, you hope that there are zero, but to hear that hundreds of babies' lives essentially were saved over the past year, that's some fantastic news. I appreciate you joining us, Jim Ryan.
Thanks, Charlie.
6:51 now. President Trump says he plans to send his peace deal with Iran to Congress as lawmakers across the aisle are skeptical of what's in the agreement. News Nation's Maddie Biertempfel reports.
The text of the deal has not been officially released, but according to President Trump, it says Iran will not have a nuclear weapon and the Strait of Hormuz will be open. At a summit of world leaders in France Tuesday, President Trump touted a peace deal with Iran to end the nearly 4-month-long war.
Here's what it says. Iran will never have a nuclear weapon.
The Memorandum of Understanding is set for a signing ceremony Friday in Geneva. It would extend the ceasefire 60 days and reopen the Strait of Hormuz while the two sides negotiate Iran's nuclear program. In exchange, the U.S. would end its naval blockade in the region and potentially lift sanctions on Iran. The U.S. military will stay in the region while talks continue, but full details of the deal haven't been released, and some lawmakers say they're skeptical.
Trump has yet to give Americans a reason to believe that this latest peace deal won't leave them disappointed again.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is calling for briefings. Republicans also want to see the details and are concerned about Iran holding up its end of the deal.
Unless you were homeschooled by a day drinker, no one's confident that Iran's going to do anything.
Louisiana Senator John Kennedy says if there is a final deal, it should be approved by the Senate. President Trump said he will send the deal to lawmakers.
Never even thought about it, but I will. I will send it to Congress. I like the idea. I mean, who wouldn't approve it?
Vice President J.D. Vance said the White House would release the text of the deal sometime this week. Maddie Biertempfel, News Nation, Washington.
This comes as President Trump is throwing down the gauntlet to Senate Republicans on a series of interconnected intelligence issues.
The president says he will not approve FISA, a key national security tool that has already expired, until Republicans pass his sweeping voter ID law. And what's more, the president says he's also delaying the nomination of Jay Clayton to serve as the director of national intelligence until his other judicial nominees get through. Clayton was scheduled to start his confirmation hearings today. This means that Bill Pulte, a man with no intelligence experience, will be serving in that role for now. Republicans are no fan of Pulte. The president knows that, and now he's using it as leverage.
ABC's Rachel Scott. Authorities have multiple people in custody in connection with a thwarted terrorist plot to target the UFC event at the White House. News Nation's Margaret Chadbourne reports.
Court documents allege the suspects used TikTok and encrypted chats to coordinate with a plan to use small drones carrying explosives to spark panic before snipers targeted senior government officials and other VIPs as they fled, including billionaires and Republican lawmakers. The Justice Department released photos showing multiple weapons, tactical gear, year and what investigators describe as training sessions. The case now renewing concerns on Capitol Hill about domestic security threats.
Search for additional suspects is underway. Time to check traffic now. Every 10 minutes, we head over to the traffic desk with Ted Beener.
Good morning, everybody. This traffic report is brought to you by Harger Stone Credit Union on northbound 405 at the top of the Kennydale Hill. Here's a long-term crash there. Response teams continue to work on clearing a multiple vehicle crash. The HOV lane is blocked, and we got traffic moving through the pair of general purpose lanes. Traffic is backed up about 4 miles into the Renton curves. Your Renton to Bellevue drive time, that's about 45 minutes. That's a 25-minute delay. Otherwise, your Wednesday morning is approaching the first peak of the morning commute. Driving in from the north end, southbound I-5 slows from 88th and Marysville across the Snohomish Valley, and from the Boeing Freeway through Linwood. Southbound 405 is braking from Canyon Park to the 160th interchange. Coming in from the south end, northbound I-5 slows from the Tacoma Dome to past the Fife curve. Got that sun glare. From 320th to past 200th, and from the south end of Boeing Field into downtown. Northbound 167 slows from State Route 18 to Willis, and again from 212th to 180th. Drive times, Federal Way to Seattle, 47 minutes. That's a 10-minute delay. 25 minutes are from South Center. Puyallup to Renton is close to 50 minutes. Everett to Seattle is 40 minutes, while Bellevue is just 50 minutes. Narrows and Lake Bridges are moving well. Earn up to $30 per month just for using your Harborstone PNW Cashback debit card. Open your free checking account online today at harborstone.com/cash. I'm Ted Beener with KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic.
Give something that matters this Father's Day. Time. At LeMay, America's Car Museum, you'll share stories, laughter, and interest in something new. All ages will find enjoyment from the most advanced racing simulators in the world to children's activities, and grab lunch at Cafe El Coriano. It's more than a visit. It's a lifelong memory for dads and kids of every age. It's the gift you'll never forget. Plan today at americascarmuseum.org. That's americascarmuseum.org.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And right now, new mattresses start at $1,500 during our 4th of July sale. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
You know what you can trust? The protection you get when you bundle home and auto insurance with Progressive. You know what you can't trust? Everything else, apparently. Like when you saw that article that said that thing you eat every day is a superfood and great for your gut health. But then 30 seconds later, a different article warns you to avoid it and it's taking years off your life. Well, which is it? Kind of a big difference there. Anyway, bundle home and auto insurance with Progressive for reliable coverage in a reliably unreliable world. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Rain on game day doesn't faze Dave. He's already got his poncho. Just needs to do something about those wipers. So Dave heads to AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone,
where a friendly AutoZoner helps him get premium quiet wipers and some hand warmers.
You're all set.
Now, if only his team can handle the elements as well as his new wipers. Get wipers, glass cleaner, and more with no hassles, just help at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. If your summer home improvement list has a new roof, siding, or a gutter upgrade, you owe it to your home to give Valentine Roofing a call. And once again, they've been awarded the best in the Pacific Northwest for roofing by the Seattle Times in 2025. And right now, qualified homeowners can take advantage of $0 down and 0% financing with 6 months deferred interest when paid in full within the promotional period. Financing subject to approved credit. Call 206 Roofing today, and remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
There's nothing so special as June in a Northwest garden, and it's a great time to get to Sky Nursery and plant before the summer heat. Explore Sky's colorful tapestry of trees and shrubs, veggies and herbs, fountains, hanging baskets, and more. Sky Nursery, the gardener's garden store. store. SkyNursery.com.
Olympic Hot Tub's mid-year clearance event is on. Score big savings on saltwater hot tubs, saunas, and swim spas. Hurry, our mid-year clearance and these incredible deals end June 30th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Hartley here from Wilcox Farms. For over 100 years, my family's been committed to doing what's right. At Wilcox Family Farms, that means caring for our hens with healthy pasture environments and a diet of organic grains and flax seeds. It's how we produce eggs that are wholesome, flavorful, and good for you. Next time you're at an egg case in your local store, we hope you feel good about choosing Wilcox eggs. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
How does your roof look after this winter? Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Spring into action today. Save $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. As the world waits for details on the peace deal the U.S. and Iran are supposed to sign Friday, G7 leaders are applauding it.
The leaders of the G7 nations released a joint statement on a range of world issues, including the U.S.-Iran deal, saying the group welcomes the memo of understanding. We support and are ready to contribute to its implementation, the leaders write.
It's ABC's Karen Travers in Geneva, Switzerland. President Trump expected to hold a news conference from the G7 later this morning. The man who admits that he killed several women and buried them in and around beaches on New York's Long Island is due to be sentenced today. Rex Heuermann will get life without the possibility of parole. Washington state wildfires are putting thousands of homes at risk. Evacuations have been ordered in the eastern part of the state. And America is still shopping. New retail sales numbers from May show sales were up nearly 1%. It comes ahead of the wrap-up of the Fed meeting today, where it's widely expected to hold interest rates steady. This is ABC News. One person was killed when a private jet crashed along a highway in Laredo, Texas. Bystanders rushed to help free the other passengers. There were 6 people on board. ABC's Gio Benitez has the story.
We saw that there was actually movement inside the aircraft. That's when my husband jumped out of the car and went straight to help out.
Zaida Garza and her husband were driving home when they came upon the scene. He was one of those heroes.
I was scared for the people inside and for the people that was helping. I didn't know if that fire was going to make the aircraft explode.
The cause of the crash is under investigation. Walmart, in a statement, says it's saddened after a 1-year-old was shot and killed by law enforcement outside of a Walmart in Senatobia, Mississippi. Police say officers were responding to a shoplifting call and fired into a vehicle when it was driving towards them. The officer who fired the shot's been placed on leave. I'm Brian Clark, ABC News.
7:02, here's what we're following on Seattle's Morning News. Fish and wildlife crews are searching for a bear that attacked 2 teenage hikers near Mount Si yesterday afternoon. Both teens were hurt about 3 miles up the trail. Neither injury is life-threatening. The trail is closed. Lakewood man is still lucky this morning, lucky to be alive after a powerful explosion tore through his detached shop on Steilacoom Boulevard Southwest. Pierce County deputies say the 47-year-old was making homemade fireworks when it blew. And SpaceX has rocketed past Amazon in market value. Elon Musk's company hit roughly $2.9 trillion at its peak yesterday, days after its record-setting IPO. Amazon sits at $2.6 trillion. At 7:03, it is time to check traffic on the 3s. Here's Ted Beener.
Thank you. This traffic report is brought to you by Subaru of Puyallup. On northbound 405 at the top of Kennydale Hill, response teams look like they're getting close to finish clearing that long-term multiple vehicle crash there. HOV lane remains blocked. Traffic still backed up into the Renton curves. That's about 4 miles. Your Renton to Bellevue drive time, that is now up to 50 minutes. That's a 25-minute delay. Otherwise, your Wednesday morning commute has slowdowns, including northbound 167 from Algona to near Willis, and northbound I-5 from the Tacoma Dome up the hill from the Fife Curve. That's thanks to that sun glare. And from 320th to near South Center, as well as Albro into downtown. Now, from the north end, southbound I-5 is braking from 88th and Marysville across the Snohomish Valley, and from the 405 split to the county line, while southbound 405 slows from before Canyon Park to the 160th interchange. Drive times, Arlington to Everett, 16 minutes. Everett to Seattle is 45 minutes, while down to Bellevue, that is now an hour. Olympia to Tacoma through JBLM is 35 minutes, while Tacoma to Seattle, that is an hour and 20 minutes. Your Puyallup to Renton drive time is 15 minutes. Subaru of Puyallup has dependable, fuel-efficient, all-wheel drive models, including the redesigned Subaru Outback. Find stress-free pricing and offers at SubaruofPuyallup.com. Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Ted Beater.
Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 7:04. I'm Charlie Harger. Manda has the day off. Washington's first major wildfire of the season is burning in Spokane County. The fast-moving fire is threatening hundreds of homes as crews race to slow its spread. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has the latest.
Yeah, Charlie, the upriver fire started yesterday just 5.5 miles from downtown Spokane. Fire Chief Matthew Vinci says whole neighborhoods are being told to evacuate immediately.
Yeah, 11,790 people are under evacuation. 2,340 primary and secondary structures are under evacuation.
You may have heard the wind on the microphone there. That has been a huge problem with gusts up to 30 miles per hour in that area. If you're watching on our YouTube feed also, you'll see video of multiple planes and helicopters dropping water. Also, I've got a pair of maps that I put up on social media as well. You can take a look that show those neighborhoods being told to get out now. That big area in red, that's a level 3 evacuation area, so close to downtown. And it could be days before folks are allowed to go back to their homes.
Folks definitely want to see their home. I want to see my home too, but stay out of the area and let us do our work. Let our skilled professionals do their work.
This fire stretches about 300 acres or so right now. About 10% contained is what I'm reading from fire officials this morning. That's better than yesterday. There are no injuries. That's good news, but several homes have been destroyed. Crews don't know yet where or how this fire started. Look, Charlie, wildfire season is here. There are 15 wildfires across eastern Washington right now. There's a massive red flag warning right now going on as well for critical fire weather conditions. Huge area that's about 50 miles by 35 miles. It stretches from areas north of Ellensburg all the way down to Yakima. Prime conditions, and it's so early in the season.
So early, and so much dry, warm, even hot weather in the forecast. Got to be super careful if you have anything that could cause a fire. Thank you, Luke Ducey. 7:06 now. Hiking trails on Mount Si are closed today after a bear attacked 2 teen hikers yesterday afternoon. KIRO 7 TV's Nia Bliss reports wildlife crews are searching for that bear.
While Keenan never saw the actual attack, he did witness the injured teen hiker escorted down Mount Si by King County Search and Rescue.
He was scratched up. He was really, really afraid, traumatized, really.
Multiple agencies responded.
We're about 200 feet away from the summit.
They say the teen had been hiking with a large group when they encountered a black bear, though the teen yelled to scare it away.
He said that the bear kept after him and that it kept swatting at him.
Officers say the bear charged at the teen, clawing him.
5 people are under arrest this morning after a high-speed police chase throughout the city overnight. Seattle police tell KIRO 7 TV the suspects were wanted in an armed robbery and were chased across multiple precincts before the pursuit ended around 4 this morning on State Route 99. The investigation is ongoing. 6 people are behind bars this morning following a major human trafficking sting in Seattle. According to the Seattle Police Department, the weekend operation focused heavily on the North Aurora corridor. Officers arrested the 6 suspects who were seeking to exploit children. They are all facing serious felony charges. Police also helped rescue 13 victims from the streets. That includes 3 minors who are now in protective services.
Keeping you informed since 1974.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Well, great to have you along with us today. I'm Charlie Harger. Manda Factor, Chris Sullivan are out for the rest of the week, but we have Ted Diener filling in today. Good morning, Ted.
Good morning.
Now, you are a longtime meteorologist, Ted. It's going to be dry and basically hot in eastern Washington. How concerned are you by what we're seeing in the forecast with these wildfires?
Very, particularly since we've got wind involved as well.
Yeah.
That helps spread the fires pretty quickly, so everybody over there needs to be alert.
Yeah, all right. We'll continue to check in with you throughout the morning. David Burbank is producing the show. Nick Crashaw on the board picking the tunes, and we have Katrina Gashard out at the news desk. Coming up this hour of the show, we will check in with former state AG Rob McKenna. A recent decision in our state Supreme Court means extra penalties for driving under the influence. We'll talk with Rob about that coming up. And in today's 7:35 commentary, 5 years ago, Seattle aimed a tax at its biggest companies. Spoiler alert, the bill landed on your kitchen table. That's coming up at 7:35. Residents in unincorporated Bremerton woke up to a loud crashing sound early yesterday morning. Here's KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch with the story.
Kitsap County deputies were called to an apartment complex on Northeast Steeple Rock Lane in unincorporated Bremerton just after 2:30 a.m. Kevin McCarty with the Kitsap County Sheriff's Office says when deputies arrived, they found a damaged garage and at least one damaged vehicle.
Sheriff's deputies believe the 19-year-old driver of that car was under the influence of hallucinogenic mushrooms when he drove the car from inside a closed garage.
The man drove away, then returned and was arrested. He now faces multiple charges, including DUI and hit and run. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
To Pierce County, where investigators say a Lakewood man is lucky to be alive after a powerful explosion ripped through a detached shop. This was on Steilacoom Boulevard Southwest. Deputies say the 47-year-old was making homemade fireworks when the explosion happened.
He had told our investigators that he was mixing a compound of black powder in a blender, and as soon as he turned the blender on, it immediately caused an explosion.
Wow. Okay. The bomb squad recovered 37 homemade explosive devices. The man could face charges once he recovers. FBI working to piece together what led to a shooting involving a U.S. Border Patrol agent in Blaine. Happened early yesterday morning in a residential area near 4th and A Street, where it's very close to the Canadian border. U.S. Attorney Neil Floyd tells the Jason Rance Show on Seattle Red 770 AM the suspect was shot, injured, and taken to the hospital.
That this guy was not unknown to law enforcement. He has a criminal history that would certainly give any officer some concern.
Customs and Border Patrol says a firearm was recovered at the scene. No agents were hurt. FBI calls this an isolated incident. Mariners fans rejoiced yesterday to see catcher Cal Raleigh return to the lineup as the team begins a 6-game homestand, and the big dumper did not disappoint. He had an immediate impact on the team.
Pitch on the way, swinging a line, driving to left center field, falling fast. That's going to drop in a base hit. Here comes Robles. Everson rounding third. The throw to the plate. He slides. He's saved. 2 runs are in. Welcome back, Cal Raleigh off the IL.
Yeah, for sure. That gave the M's a 3-1 lead over the Orioles in the 7th. Seattle would go on to win. The teams will play again this evening at 6:40, and you can catch all the action on our sister station, 710 Seattle Sports. At 7:12, it's time to check weather. Nick Allard from KIRO 7 TV is here. Nick, I think you kind of teased us with another perhaps very hot couple of days coming up next week.
It's possible. Yeah, I mean, the latest computer models have been hinting at some more warm weather for next week. So I, for example, and I need it to be a little more consistent and to see it, a little closer to it really happening. But I think I forget what I put. I think I put 86, 87 for both Monday, Tuesday. If that continues to show and continues to hold, and if the wind direction is a little offshore, then I think we could get even warmer again. So it doesn't look like what we just had, but, at least in the upper 80s. And that would mean that a few places for sure away from the water would be in the low 90s. And yeah, we're in summer. There's just that's it. We are in summer. And today it's going to be like 75. Normal, for a little context, is 71. I think it won't be as breezy, including east of the Cascades. Just a little bit of low cloud cover early. Mid to upper 70s tomorrow. You do see some more energy overnight tomorrow night into Friday. So I think for Friday morning, there's quite a bit of cloud cover. But that does tend to clear as the day goes on. And we'll see a nice afternoon. It'll be warmer in the low 80s. So just a few more clouds for your World Cup on Friday. And then Saturday, morning clouds, afternoon sun. Father's Day, first day of summer, is about 80. And then, mid to upper 80s next week. So it's going to be warm, it's going to be sunny, and it's going to be summer. And that officially starts at, is it 124 or 128 Sunday morning? I can't remember. It's sometime right before. That's what I said. Totally said that. Never questioned it. Totally knew the entire time. Wasn't sure. Yep. So confident. But thank you, Ted. But yeah, it's going to feel like it for a while.
Okay. Thank you, Nick. It's 56 in Seattle. At 7:13, we head over to the traffic desk with Ted.
All right, thank you. All right, this traffic report is brought to you by Seattle Sports. Some good news on northbound 405. That crash at the top of the Kennydale Hill has finally cleared, and all lanes are back open. That long backup is starting to recover. Your Renton to Bellevue drive time right now is about 50 minutes. That's a 25-minute delay. That should improve here soon. And I want to thank Joe on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line. He noted a new crash on northbound I-5 near the Boeing Access Road. That is blocking the right lane. Also, on the Pack Highway in Federal Way, police and fire have closed southbound lanes at 336th. And that's a busy situation there as well, so you may want to avoid that area. Otherwise, your Wednesday morning commute has the usual slowdowns, nothing you can't handle. Some drive times. Federal Way to Seattle is 57 minutes. That's a 10-minute delay. 35 of those are from South Center. Puyallup to Renton is 50 minutes. Coming in from Snohomish County, Everett to Seattle is 45 minutes, while to Bellevue, that is 55 minutes. The Narrows and Lake Bridges are moving well. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. I'm Ted Wiener with KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime. Seattle's morning news, wherever you are.
7:15 Wednesday morning. Thanks for being here. A decision from our state Supreme Court last week is drawing the ire of gun rights advocates. Let's get some details with former state AG Rob McKenna, who joins us each week. Rob, can you explain this decision a bit?
Absolutely. So this decision, which comes out of a case involving two individuals in Spokane who had 2 DUIs apiece within 7 years. They lost their right to own a gun, to obtain a concealed carry permit, and they lost that right because of a 2023 Washington state law that strips the firearm rights of individuals who are convicted of 2 or more qualifying DUI-related offenses within a 7-year span. So 2 or more DUIs in 7 years, you automatically lose your rights to possess a firearm. That's a permanent loss unless or until you go to court and you can show you have had a clean record for at least 5 years, and the court agrees to restore your rights to own firearms. So that law and its application to these individuals was the issue in this case.
And so how would the U.S. Supreme Court play into a law like this?
Well, the U.S. Supreme Court has looked at the question of when people lose their rights under law or can lose their rights under law. And there are 2 cases that really matter here. One is called Bruin. This is the case coming out of New York, where people were not allowed to possess firearms unless they could prove they needed them for self-defense. That law was struck down. And in that case, the Supreme Court articulated a test now called the Bruin test after the name of the case. And under that test, gun-related legislation has to be in line with the country's historical firearm legislation. Laws have to have what are called historical analogs to laws existing at the time the Second Amendment was ratified, or even as late as the late 1800s when the Second Amendment was incorporated by the 14th Amendment and applied to state and local governments. That law, that standard, the Bruin test about historical analogs, was refined by the Supreme Court just in 2024, the year after the statute we're talking about was enacted by the state legislature, and in that 2024 decision, the United States Supreme Court said that the government could prohibit firearm possession by a person with a civil domestic violence restraining order, even if they hadn't been convicted of domestic violence crime itself. And they said that, when you look at modern gun control laws and compare them to historical tradition, you only need to have a similar analog. You don't have to have a strict match, right? Not the historical twin. So fast forward to this case we're talking about today in Washington State, and the majority, it was a 5-4 split on our Supreme Court, held that this state law from 2023 that strips the firearm rights of individuals convicted of multiple DUI offenses, they said that fell within the historical analog where, going back a long way, we've understood that people who are drunks shouldn't have guns. That's the way they reasoned it.
Well, if I hear a 5-4 split on the state Supreme Court, that indicates to me this might be in trouble if it does make its way to the U.S. Supreme Court. Am I wrong in that?
Right. Yeah, it's very hard, and you and I have talked about this multiple times. It's very hard to get the Supreme Court of the United States to grant review because they have thousands of petitions. If it went up, I think there would be some risk that the state Supreme Court would be overturned. They've been overturned before. But what's interesting to me about this dissent is it was written by one of the very progressive members of the court. Of course, most of the members of the court are pretty highly progressive. But the justice who wrote the dissenting opinion said, look, a person who loses their rights to possess arms under the Supreme Court's decision in 2024 has to pose what's called a credible threat to the physical safety of another. And in that 2024 U.S. Supreme Court case, the guy who lost his rights, he was crazy. I mean, he was like, he had multiple incidents of firing his guns at other people, shooting his guns in the air around his kids. He was accused of domestic violence. I mean, he was a bad dude. So there, the court said, credible threat. Here, the point that the dissenters are making in this Washington Supreme Court case is, you're convicted of a DUI. That's bad, of course, because the act itself of driving drunk is a bad thing. But does it directly correlate to being a threat, to commit violence? And so does that person who's been convicted of a DUI, even of 2 DUIs within 7 years, do they pose a credible threat to the physical safety of another involving a gun, right? Not involving your car, but involving a gun. Keep in mind, we're not talking about people losing their rights to drive, which, can happen, if you have many, many convictions. We're talking about losing your right to possess a firearm. And these 2 individuals from Spokane didn't know that they couldn't own a gun until they went to apply for a concealed carry permit. And the system said, nope, we see 2 DUI convictions in the last 7 years or more, and you're prohibited. So legislature has said in Washington State, well, we think there's a correlation between misusing alcohol and violence, but the dissenters in this decision, these 4 state Supreme Court justices said, no, that's, you need an individual determination. It's called an individualized determination. So they would have ruled that a trial court would have to decide whether or not the DUI convictions indicate that the person abused alcohol and was a credible threat if they had a gun. And that's not the test that the majority of the Supreme Court upheld, which is 2 DUIs automatically lose your rights to possess a firearm, and you don't have them unless you get a court to give them back to you after 5 years.
Well, no matter where you come down on this, it's always a good reminder, especially as we're headed into the summer, don't drink and drive. Make other plans. Don't even face your legal hassles, and everything will be much better without something happening like this behind the wheel. All right, former state AG Rob McKenna. Rob, always great speaking to you. We'll check in with you next week.
Thanks, Charlie. Take care.
Coming up on 7:23 now, we need to head over to the traffic desk with Ted Beener.
Thank you, Charlie. This traffic report is brought to you by Global Credit Union. The crash on northbound I-5 near the Boeing Access Road looks like it has moved over to the right shoulder. Got considerable slowing, though, approaching the scene. On Pack Highway in Federal Way, police and fire have closed the southbound lanes at 336th. The earlier crash on northbound 405 at the top of the Kennydale Hill is gone. All lanes are back open, and the backup into the Renton curves is recovering. Your Renton to Bellevue drive time is about 45 minutes. That's about a 20-minute delay. Otherwise, your Wednesday morning commute has slowdowns, including northbound 167 from Algona to near Willis, and northbound I-5 from Midway to near South Center, as well as from the Duwamish River into downtown. Coming in from the north end, southbound I-5 is braking from 88th and Marysville across the Snohomish Valley, and from the 405 split down into Shoreline, while southbound 405 slows from Canyon Park to the 160th interchange. Drive times, Arlington to Everett, 15 minutes. Everett to Seattle, Bellevue, both of those are now just over 55 minutes. Olympia to Tacoma through JBLM is 35 minutes. Tacoma to Seattle, that's an ugly hour and 20 minutes there. And your Puyallup to Renton drive time is 52 minutes. Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. I'm Ted Biener with KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic.
56 right now in Seattle. We'll heat up to 75 with mostly sunny skies today. 78 the forecast high. Tomorrow, this weekend, still looking to be sunny and warm. Coming up on Seattle's Morning News, one of the day's top headlines, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey with details on a bear attack on 2 teens yesterday on the Mount Si Trail. And in the 735 commentary, they told you the tax would only hit the wealthiest companies in town. 5 years later, your property tax bill is bigger and theirs isn't. Funny how that works. 735 commentary on the way on Seattle's Morning News.
This hour is brought to you by CM Heating.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Carrie injured her back years ago. This is her story.
My herniated disc was so significant that they did the first surgery, the laminectomy and a microdiscectomy. The first surgery failed, and I ended up with another herniated disc, which is pretty typical that herniations just move up your spine. The doctor was recommending another fusion surgery, so I researched alternative therapies. Sound Pain Solutions developed a plan that included bioelectric therapy, laser therapy, decompression, pressure wave therapy, in addition to rehab. Once we started that comprehensive approach, it went phenomenally. They honestly have given me my life back, and I'm happy to help other patients find sound pain solutions sooner.
Schedule a free consultation to learn if you qualify for our non-surgical and drug-free treatments at soundpainsolutions.com.
Have something to say? We'd love to hear it. Text KIRO News Radio at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need to get the job done. With fast delivery you can depend on and access to technical product experts ready to help you meet any challenge. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
Power your drive with Mobil 1 motor oil. Buy 5 quarts, get $15 back, and score a fast and furious prize after rebate at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly.
Auto Parts.
At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we make protecting your home simple and affordable. With flexible financing and 20-plus years of trusted service, you can count on lasting quality from Guardian. Visit GuardianRoofing.com today.
Load up the paddle boards, pack the hiking boots, and point the hood toward adventure in a Subaru Outback. Carter Subaru has the largest Subaru selection in our state with over 800 Subarus in stock. And right now you can drive home a 2026 Subaru Outback with just 0.9% APR financing. Carter Subaru in Ballard, Shoreline, or online at cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 6/30/26.
Hey, when was the last time you inspected your crawl space or your attic? What's the last time you went in there just to see what kind of shape they're in? Oh, never? Yeah, same. I don't want to go in there. Most homeowners completely avoid those areas, but it is important to check on them regularly. It's why you call Crawl Pros. They'll come out and go where you don't want to. Hey, it's Mike Salk here. And yes, when Crawl Pros came out to my place, they realized we had a little problem with our insulation. So they've set about fixing it, and they did a great job. But if you've got the same problem, they'll also look to see what kind of energy rebates are available. Right now, local utility companies are incentivizing homeowners to make their home more energy efficient with proper insulation. And some homes qualify for several $1,000s in savings with these utility rebate programs. So don't just assume your crawl space and attic are in great condition. Do what I did. Call Crawl Pros today and schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection and find out if you've got water intrusion, mold, rodent issues, or even damaged insulation. Schedule your crawl space and attic inspection at crawlpros.com.
Our local tax expert and advocate Greg Nunn understands the pressure that comes from owing money to the IRS. Don't let that pressure build. Call None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
Nothing worse than clutter. With Closets by Design, everything will finally have its place. 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Closet.byDesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 7:30. A wildfire emergency in Washington state. More than 2,000 homes evacuated and threatened. Evacuations have been ordered for many. ABC's Alex Stone is in a fire zone in Spokane.
Firefighters here know that they had lost homes overnight in these neighborhoods right here, but they don't know how many homes. They've actually got to go in and count later on today. It's been so active overnight that they haven't been able to actually go in and get a full accounting. Over 2,300 homes are in the path of the fire. Hotels are full of evacuees waiting for word on the fate of their homes.
To the foothills where all trails on Mount Si near North Bend are closed today after a bear attacked two teenagers. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey joins us live with the latest.
Yeah, Charlie, Fish and Wildlife officers are out there right now still searching for that bear. There was a group of 3 hikers, all teenagers, who were a little more than 2.5 miles up the trail on Mount Si. They say that bear charged them and they all scattered. One of the hikers injured himself spraining his ankle trying to run away. Another victim told a passerby after the attack.
He said that the bear kept after him and that it kept swatting at him.
Now, that passerby also told KIRO 7 TV the one victim that looks pretty banged up. Yeah, he had cuts all over his legs apparently.
The bear scratched him up. His extremities, his whole legs were scratched up. He could really barely walk.
According to Fish and Wildlife, the last recorded bear attack with injuries was way back in 2022. This is rare that this happens. If you're watching our YouTube feed, what we do and have been showing is the number of reported black bear sightings, not attacks, but sightings across Puget Sound, according to the Woodland Park Zoo. You can see when we get that map up, there are a lot of black dots on the screen. Most of them are kind of near cities and towns, like in the foothills. But add in mountain lions and bobcats, and wow, look at all those. Those are just sightings. So not in the wilderness, but near homes. In this case, a second group of hikers also said they were followed by a black bear on Mount Si, which is right there in North Bend, really. There was no contact in that incident, though. So, all right, Charlie, what do you do? Well, if I do this and I sound weird doing it and you think you sound weird, clang your poles, or when you're hiking, give out a hey bear, when you're going every 30 seconds or so, just to let the bear know that you're in the area. But if you see a black bear on the trail, then like this, back away slowly, make yourself big and talk to the bear. But whatever you do, do not run. That is like the last thing you want to do. Fish and Wildlife also recommend carrying bear spray, and please know how to use it.
I just saw one way of knowing what to do. If the bear is black, fight back.
Fight back.
If the bear is brown, face down. Because the brown bears apparently are the opposite of what the black bear does.
That would be a grizzly, and that would be very, very scary.
Yeah, all right. Luke Ducey reporting live. 6 people facing charges after a human trafficking sting along Seattle's Aurora Avenue. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin.
In this weekend operation, SPD says that they found 10 women and 3 children who were being exploited. Officers say 6 people were also arrested for being involved in that trafficking situation. The approach included having survivor-centered services on scene, violence intervention, and targeted investigations into those responsible for the coercion, violence, and financial exploitation.
Grays Harbor PUD alerting customers after a new wave of utility scam calls. Customers report being told their power will be shut off unless they pay immediately. PUD says these calls are fake. If you get one of these calls, hang up and contact the PUD directly to confirm your account. It's time to check traffic every 10 minutes. Here is Ted Biener.
Thank you. Traffic is brought to you by LeMay America's Car Museum. The crashes on northbound I-5 near the Boeing Access Road and on northbound 405 at the top of the Kennydale Hill both have cleared, and backups continue to recover there. Your Rent and Bellevue drive time, that has improved to 40 minutes. That's about a 10-minute delay. On Pack Highway and Federal Way, police and fire have closed the northbound lanes at 336th. In that area, just be aware of that. And just in, a stalled vehicle on northbound I-5 shy of the 272nd interchange. That is blocking the left lane. We got a growing backup there. Otherwise, your Wednesday morning commute has got slowdowns, including northbound 167 from Algona to near Willis, and northbound I-5 from Midway to near South Center and from the Duwamish River into downtown. Northbound 509, that is sluggish down the hill to the First Avenue Bridge. From the north end, southbound I-5 has braking from the 405 split into Shoreline and now from Lake City Way to the Ship Canal Bridge, while southbound 405 slows from Canyon Park to the 160th interchange. Drive times, Federal Way to Seattle is an hour and 5 minutes. That's a 15-minute delay. 35 minutes of those are from South Center. Puyallup to Renton is 50 minutes. From Snohomish County, Everett to Seattle, Bellevue, both of those are close to 55 minutes. And the Narrows and Lake Bridges, they're moving pretty well. Give time this Father's Day at LeMay America's Car Museum. Enjoy hundreds of cars, racing simulators, kids' activities, and the new cafe. Make memories that last at americascarmuseum.org. KIRO Newsradio, real-time traffic. I'm Ted Biener.
We're headed for a high of 75, mostly sunny today, 78 tomorrow. Right now in Seattle, it's sunny and 56.
For more than 50 years, the voice Seattle trusts. This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
And it's time for the 735 commentary. In 2020, Seattle passed a tax on its biggest, highest-paying companies and called it Jumpstart. The pitch was simple. The largest employees could afford to fund affordable housing and climate programs. The woman who dreamed it up was Katie Wilson, then running the Transit Riders Union. She's mayor now. Roughly 70% of Jumpstart money comes from 10 employers. We're talking Amazon, Meta, Google, a handful of others. 10 companies carrying a giant slice of the city budget. 10 companies with the means to sign a lease anywhere they please. After Jumpstart, Amazon signed one in Bellevue. A lease, that is, 8 miles east, which has no comparable tax to the Jumpstart. It shifted about 14,000 jobs so far, even more to come. Now, Bellevue took the same pandemic, the same remote work shock, the same tech downturn. Downtown Bellevue office space values rose 7%. Downtown Seattle office values fell 48%. A new Downtown Seattle Association report lays out the damage since Jumpstart passed. 30,000 jobs gone from Seattle. A third of the office space empty. Nearly half the value of the office towers wiped out. Sure, some of this traces back to COVID. Some of it is remote work and the changing tech landscape. Nobody's pretending those don't matter. But Bellevue lived through every one of those same shocks. The one thing that's different is the tax. Now, the DSA has an agenda. They want lower business taxes. That's their job. And you should read their report knowing it. But an agenda doesn't make their math wrong. Most of these numbers come straight from the King County assessor and the city's own forecast. The businesses that pay the Jumpstart tax are voting with their leases. Now the part most people aren't looking at. Washington runs a budget-based property tax. The county sets the total bill first, then splits it across every property by relative value. When the office skyscrapers lose half their worth, they stop carrying their old share. Now that share doesn't vanish. It slides into whatever held its value, which is houses, your house. And the county, of course, would never, reduce taxes because there are, fewer homes. The bill stays the exact same size. The towers just stop picking up their end of the tax bargain. Heaven forbid the county would respond by spending less. That's never been on the table. Lower tax base, same bill. The math has to balance somewhere, and it balances on your kitchen table. In King County, the residential share of the tax base shot up from 65% to 83%. That's why your property tax bill is getting bigger every year. Now, picture a couple in Burien. They bought a modest house years ago. They've never set foot in a downtown Seattle office tower, never will, didn't vote for Jumpstart, didn't work in tech. And their county property tax bill is quietly going up, absorbing a sliver of those empty towers downtown. Same story being told for the homeowners in Federal Way, in Shoreline, all across King County. Jumpstart was sold as dedicated money for affordable housing. The city has since pulled about $201 million of it into the general fund to patch ordinary budget holes. The committee that was supposed to watch the spending by Jumpstart, well, it was dissolved. Mayor Wilson herself confirmed on camera that without those transfers, the city deficit would be $400 million instead of $150 million. The tax she helped build to construct affordable housing is now keeping the lights on at City Hall. And her plan to close what's left of the gap is almost certainly another round of taxes. Anybody who's owned an old truck knows how to jumpstart one, right? You clamp the cables, you turn the engine over, and drive around long enough to charge the battery. You don't leave the cables clamped on for 5 years and wonder why the thing still won't start on its own. Well, 5 years in, downtown is the engine that won't turn over. Bellevue just turned the key and drove off. And the couple in Burien is picking up the difference on their next property tax bill. At some point, you stop blaming the battery and start looking at the mechanic. And that's the 735 commentary for Wednesday, June 17th, 2026. You can always text your thoughts to the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476. Join our discussion. The chat is live on our YouTube Live at KIRO News Radio. And, of course, leave a comment on the column at mynorthwest.com. Ted Beener will have traffic coming up next.
Hey, it's G. Scott. Let's talk real for a sec. Summer is supposed to be about sunshine and kids having fun. But when the kids are home all day, that grocery bill, yeah, it grows fast. That's why I want you to know about Sunbucks and why our friends at Safeway are helping get the word out. If your family qualifies, you can receive $120 per child to spend on groceries this summer, food in your cart, and a little less pressure on that budget. And let me be clear about this. There's no catch, no judgment. This program is simply about making sure kids have enough to eat when school is out. Here's the important part. Many families are enrolled automatically, and a card may already be headed to your mailbox. But some families do need to apply depending on income and where you live. So take a couple minutes and check. Visit freesummermeals.org. That's freesummermeals.org. Safeway, looking out for your family this summer. Once again, that's freesummermeals.org.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
John always listens to his truck. So when his brakes start talking, he goes to AutoZone, where a helpful AutoZoner gets him the right parts. If John has time to put them in, he borrows a kit with Loan-A-Tool. And if he doesn't, he gets a free shop referral. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool. Restrictions apply.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
It's 7:43, traffic on the threes now. Here's Ted Beener.
This traffic report is brought to you by Seattle Sports. On northbound I-5, just shy of 272nd and Federal Way. Looks like that stalled vehicle that was blocking the left general purpose lane has been moved out of the way, so that's good news. On Pack Highway and Federal Way, just be aware police and fire have closed the northbound lanes at 332nd. Otherwise, your Wednesday morning commute got some slowdowns, and they include eastbound 512 approaching South Hill. Looks like something's going on there. I'll have more on that in 10 minutes. Northbound 167 also slows from Algonda to near Willis. Northbound I-5 from Midway to near South Center and from Albro into downtown. Northbound 509, that's pretty sluggish down the hill to the First Avenue Bridge. From the north end, southbound I-5 has braking from the 405 split into Shoreline and from Lake City Way to the Ship Canal Bridge, while southbound 405 slows from Canyon Park to the 160th interchange. Drive times, Arlington to Everett, 17 minutes. Everett to Seattle, Bellevue, both of those are close to an hour now. Coming in from the south end, Olympia to Tacoma through JBLM is 35 minutes, while Tacoma to Seattle, that's now an hour and 25 minutes. Your Puyallup to Renton drive time has eased to 46 minutes. You can also always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial at 97.3 HD2. KIRO Newsradio, real-time traffic. I'm Ted Beener.
Sunny and 75 for a high today. Right now it's sunny and 53. Coming up, ABC's Brad Milkey and Arthur Jones break down some big changes happening within the education department. This is Seattle's Morning News.
Hey there, Dawn Riling from Olympic Hot Tub with exciting news. Our mid-year clearance event is on. You'll score big savings on all in-stock saltwater hot tubs and fabulous saunas. Plus, deep discounts on newly released floor model swim spas. These deals are incredible. But don't wait. Our mid-year clearance ends June 30th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub. I was walking my dog, I fell and ended up with 3 tears in my meniscus. I was sent to a surgeon and they said the only way to get this fixed is to have surgery. That just wasn't an option. I didn't want to jump into surgery without trying anything else.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. We offer Jamie an alternative to the downtime and potential risks associated with invasive knee surgery. At Sound Pain Solutions, we help patients like Jamie avoid the side effects of painkillers, cortisone injections, and pain following surgery. Our comprehensive approach includes treatments like pressure wave, PRP, and advanced laser. These treatments reduce pain and restore mobility naturally. Now Jamie is able to do everything she enjoys without pain.
I'm grateful for being able to wake up every day and not be in pain. To be able to go about my day has been amazing.
Schedule a free consultation to learn if you qualify for our non-surgical and drug-free joint treatments at soundpainsolutions.com.
You could sleep through the night without thinking twice. You could take a seat in the middle of the theater. You could drive without worry of where the next restroom is. You used to say yes, and somewhere along the way, you stopped. Not because of one big moment, because of 100 small ones. A little more urgency, one more trip to the bathroom at 2 a.m., one more mental note about where the restroom is. It happened slowly enough that it just became you. But it's not you. It's enlarged prostate, and there's a treatment called aquablation therapy, the only ultrasound-guided robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Find an aquablation therapist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466, 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks, and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications Infections to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
Every time I pull up to a gas pump, I find myself doing the math. How much is this going to cost today? If the pain at the pump has you thinking about a hybrid or electric vehicle, start your search at Carter Subaru. You'll find a great selection of hybrid and electric models, plus more than 800 Subarus in stock, the largest Subaru inventory in Washington. Carter Subaru in Ballard, Shoreline, or online at cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 6/30/26.
Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime.
Seattle's Morning News, wherever you are.
Good morning, 7:48 now. In today's Start Here program for ABC News, host Brad Mielke talked to reporter Arthur Jones II about some changes coming to the Department of Education.
Throughout his most recent campaign, Donald Trump made a lot of campaign promises, tamping down inflation, overhauling the immigration system as we know it, and downsizing the federal government itself.
And I'm going to close the Department of Education and move education back to the states. And we're going to do it fast.
In fact, one of his key promises was eliminating the Department of Education, not restructuring it, getting rid of it. Legal analysts said this was likely impossible. Like if Congress establishes something, a president can't necessarily abolish that thing. But the executive branch is largely in charge of how these departments run. And yesterday, the DOE announced a major step that could render some of its most important duties obsolete. ABC's Arthur Jones II covers education. Arthur, what is this move now from the Department of Ed?
This major announcement moves special education services and civil rights protections over to the Health and Human Services Department and the Department of Justice. This is a major move because millions of students could potentially be impacted. These special education services go out to about 8 million students under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. That's about $15 billion in grants to students who have special needs. Now, the oversight of civil rights and those protections could also impact millions of students in this country who attend schools in the United States.
Well, and I feel like we've heard so much about the idea of like shutting down the Department of Education, but since you can't just do it all at once, judges have said, you have to like unwind it somehow in a lot of ways. Where are we in that process? Like, is this actually the most important stuff they do, or now is this just like one part of their job just gets handed off to other agencies?
This is the latest and most seismic shift that we've seen at the Department of Education under Secretary Linda McMahon, because Secretary McMahon, during her 15 months as head of this agency, has already fired nearly half of the staff at the Department of Education. She's closed regional offices around the country, laying off employees in the offices of civil rights, in the offices that administer special education.
President Trump told me I'd be successful in my job when I fired myself or worked myself out of a job. But his vision isn't about me or one position. It's about breaking up the education bureaucracy in Washington, D.C.
And now she's giving those core functions and responsibilities away to other federal agencies. This is simply put the dismantling of the agency's core functions. That's to oversee the civil rights of students and protect students with disabilities and ensure that they have a free and appropriate education.
It's interesting because I think a lot of Americans think the DOE runs education or like runs curricula. That's not necessarily what it does. In many cases, the job is to make sure students everywhere are getting a fair shake, especially if those students are in states that have historically underfunded minority school districts or special ed. So, Arthur, what is the rationale then from Linda McMahon or from President Trump? Like, why do they think this should be moved to other agencies?
Well, their buzzwords of efficiency, cutting bureaucracy, and returning education to the states. What they've been trying to do is streamline the programs at the Department of Education.
After 45 years, the United States spends more money on education by far than any other country, and spends likewise by far more money per pupil than any country, and it's not even close. But yet we rank near the bottom of the list in terms of success.
What they've already done is move the $1.7 trillion student loan portfolio to the Department of Treasury. They've made other partnerships over the last year with Labor, with Interior, with the Department of State. This HHS and DOJ action just hits at those other major responsibilities that impact so many students around this country. And parents and critics of these decisions say that students could really be harmed by these decisions, and they already have been harmed by some of the partnerships that the department has made so far. But Secretary McMahon, President Trump, they say they want less red tape in Washington, and they want to give more of that power to either other agencies that can do the same job or give it all back to the states.
Yeah, I was going to say, in some ways, you could say this is exactly what President Trump was promising his voters, and yet you got these critics saying, hey, there are consequences that even advocates of this policy haven't even considered yet. All right, Arthur Jones II, thank you so much.
Thanks, Brad.
That is host Brad Milkey with the ABC Start Here program. 7:53 now. We check traffic on the 3. Sully's off today, so we check in with Ted Beener.
Thanks, Charlie. This traffic report is brought by Wilcox Farms. Your Wednesday morning is approaching the second peak of the commute. Driving in from the north end, southbound I-5 slows as you go through the Snohomish Valley and from the 405 split into Shoreline, as well as from 85th across the Ship Canal Bridge. Southbound 405 has got braking from Canyon Park to the 160th interchange and now from 85th to 520. Coming in from the south end, northbound I-5, we've got some fresh slowing that goes basically from the 5 curve up to State Route 18 and as well as up to 272nd. Again, from Midway to near South Center and Albro into downtown. Northbound 167 slows from Algona to near Willis and again from 180th to 405. Northbound 405, that remains a struggle from the West Valley Highway into Newcastle. Drive times, Auburn to Renton, 22 minutes. Renton to Bellevue is 45 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle is an hour and 5 minutes. That's a 10-minute delay. 35 minutes of those are from South Center. And coming in from Snohomish County, Everett to Seattle, Bellevue, both of those are close to an hour. And a reminder on Pack Highway in Federal Way, be aware police and fire have closed the northbound lanes at 332nd. Take some alternates there. For a convenient, healthy snack on the go, look for ready-to-eat Wilcox hard-boiled eggs. Find Wilcox eggs at Costco, Metro Market, Safeway, and other local grocers. I'm Ted Beener with KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic.
Okay, the forecast, it's going to be warm and mostly sunny today. A lot of warmth, a lot of sun for the next several days. We are looking for a high of 78 tomorrow, 83 Friday, 76 Saturday, 80 on summer first day of Sunday, 124 in the morning if you're counting. And then Monday and Tuesday, we could be in the upper 80s to low 90s in Seattle. Coming up, more of the day's top headlines, and KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reporting on the rapidly moving fire near Spokane today. There are level 3 evacuations happening right now.
Progressive's Home Quote Explorer helps you easily find and buy the right coverage for you. It's everything you've always wanted. Well, I mean, as far as a website that lets you shop, quote, and buy insurance in one place. But hey, maybe that is everything you've always wanted. Yeah, people have different types of dreams. And if all you've ever been searching for is a website that helps you choose home insurance rates and coverage, boy, do we have great news about Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. This June, for Men's Health Month, Revive Seattle is offering a free comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value, including testosterone, blood sugar, heart health, and more. Take control of your health today and stay strong for the long haul. Offer ends June 30th. Call 206-529-1111. That's 529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com today.
Spike O'Neill here. If your loved one's caregiver is planning a vacation or just needs a break, why not consider Aegis Living Respite Care? A short-term stay that provides 24/7 expert care, Aegis Living amenities, and peace of mind for you and your family. Go to aegisliving.com/spike to schedule a visit today.
If your home is 20 years old or more, it might be time to have your roof checked. Your roof is your home's first line of defense, and at Guardian, we help it last as long as possible. That's why every new install comes protected with a full year of free maintenance on us. Visit us at guardianroofing.com.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Did you know that a pedestrian does not have to be crossing the street on a marked crosswalk to have a successful legal claim against the driver? Pedestrians can even be partially at fault for a collision and still have a valuable claim. Call us today for a free consultation or get my free book on pedestrian accident law at washingtonaccidentbooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
Did you really think Pure Talk was just going to sit back and watch America turn 250 years old without doing something awesome to celebrate? Of course not. That's why they're raising $250,000 for America's Warrior Partnership by the end of July. America's Warrior Partnership is on the front line of preventing veteran suicide. They've had extraordinary success, and here's how you can help. When you switch your cell phone service to Pure Talk this month, you'll be invited to round up to support America's Warrior Partnership. No pressure, but if you do, Pure Talk will match your donation dollar for dollar. And to further celebrate 250 years of our extraordinary democratic republic, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for just $34.99 a month. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. That's pound 250, say Mike Rowe. And happy birthday to us.
Spring is a season homeowners start improving their homes. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. If your home needs roofing, siding, new windows, gutters, or decking, our team can take care of it all. For a limited time, save up to $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows project. Planning multiple upgrades? Combine your projects and save even more. Or with zero down, zero payments, and zero interest up to 24 months. You can start your project now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Our local tax expert and advocate Greg Nunn understands the pressure that comes from owing money to the IRS. Don't let that pressure build. Call None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. President Trump says everyone is pleased about the deal the U.S. and Iran are going to sign Friday, even though details about the agreement are scarce. ABC's Shannon Kingston, though, says there's skepticism about what could happen next.
In the lead up to President Trump striking an initial agreement with Iran, officials say CIA Director John Ratcliffe presented intelligence from U.S. agencies giving a pessimistic outlook on whether the Iranian regime will ultimately make the nuclear concessions the administration is demanding. Detailed negotiations on those issues are set to begin on Friday.
A judge in New York said that Luigi Mangione is going to assert a psychiatric defense in his state murder trial in the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Judge said his lawyers will try to show he was suffering from extreme emotional disturbance. And Rex Heuermann, a convicted serial killer, is set to be sentenced to life in prison today in New York. This is ABC News. One of President Trump's projects to modify the nation's capital is having an issue. ABC's Mary Bruce says it's the reflecting pool between the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument.
The president just spent $15 million in taxpayer money to paint the bottom of the pool, quote, American flag blue, but the water is now green, overrun with algae. Workers have been out spotted trying to clean it up. National Park Service workers dumping hydrogen peroxide into the water. In a statement, the White House says they are deploying, quote, high-tech nanobubble ozone technology to kill the algae and keep the water of the reflecting pool crystal clear.
Congressman Mike Collins of Georgia, who was endorsed by President Trump just days ago, is the projected winner for the Republican nomination for the U.S. Senate in Georgia. He'll face Democrat Jon Ossoff in the fall. And after a Russian artist critical of Vladimir Putin was shot and killed near his home in eastern Poland Friday, today Poland's prime minister said everything points to it being a political murder. I'm Brian Clark, ABC News.
8:02, here's what we're following. FBI investigating a shooting involving a U.S. Border Patrol agent in Blaine happened early yesterday near the Canadian border. The suspect was shot and hospitalized. A gun was recovered at the scene. Ferry engineers say the state system is not ready for World Cup crowds. The union representing 400 marine engineers holds a news conference at Coleman Dock this afternoon. They warned that staffing shortages and a pay gap will mean missed sailings. And the Mariners rolling at home. Cal Raleigh back in the lineup, delivered a 2-run single in the 7th to beat the Orioles 3-1 last night. They play again tonight. At 8:03, we check in with Ted Beener. He has traffic on the 3s for us.
Good morning, everybody. Your Wednesday morning commute's got some slowdowns, and that includes eastbound 512 from Canyon into Puyallup. Just looks like volume. Didn't find anything blocking there. Northbound 167 slows from Algona to near Willis, and again from before 180th to 405. Northbound I-5, that's got braking from the Fife curve to State Route 18, from Midway to near South Center, and from Albro into downtown. From the north end, southbound I-5 has braking across the Snohomish Valley from 128th into Shoreline and from 85th to the Ship Canal Bridge, while southbound 405 slows from the Canyon Park area down to the 160th interchange and from 85th in Kirkland down to 520. Drive times, Arlington to Everett is 15 minutes. Everett to Seattle Bellevue, both of those are close to an hour. Olympia to Tacoma through JBLM, that's 35 minutes, while Tacoma to Seattle has improved to an hour and 15 minutes. Your Puyallup to Renton drive time is 43 minutes, while that drive from Renton to Bellevue is 47 minutes, about a 5-minute delay there. And a reminder on Pack Highway and Federal Way, be aware police and fire have closed the northbound lanes at 332nd. Take alternates in that area. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Ted Beener.
It's 8:04 on the Wednesday, June 17th, 2026 edition of Seattle's Morning News. Manda Factor has the day off. I'm Charlie Harger. Washington's first major wildfire of the season is burning right now in Spokane County. The fast-moving fire is threatening hundreds of homes as crews race to slow its spread. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey joins us live with the latest.
Yeah, Charlie just got off the phone with one of our listeners, Ahmad, who is about 5 miles away from the upriver fire.
I can see the smoke. I don't see it right now because the wind has shifted, but yesterday I could see this white, gray plume of smoke. It looked pretty ominous. I can hear the airplanes and helicopters going over my house, heading in that direction, that are fighting the fire.
Yeah, the fire started just yesterday, 5.5 miles from downtown Spokane. That's how close it is to that downtown core. Ahmad is home. 2 of his kids are at camp in Idaho, he tells me, but his oldest is with him, and they are sitting put, and they are waiting to see what happens.
I'm waiting with my animals. I'm just waiting for the call to actually leave to go to a friend's place that's further out.
Yeah, he says he's ready to go at any moment. Fire Chief Matthew Vinci says whole neighborhoods are being told to evacuate immediately, and it could be days before folks are allowed back home.
Folks definitely want to see their home. I want to see my home too, but stay out of the area and let us do our work. Let our skilled professionals do their work.
And you heard the wind there on the microphone. That's been the big problem. Gusts up to 30 miles per hour, spreading those flames. If you're watching on our YouTube feed, multiple planes and helicopters are also dropping water, have been around the clock. The fire stretches across about 300 acres right now. It's about 10% contained as of this morning, according to officials. No injuries. That's great news, but several homes have been destroyed, apparently. Crews don't know yet where or how the fire started. Wildfire season is officially here, not just in Spokane. There are 15 wildfires across the eastern part of the state, but this one so close to that downtown core in Spokane.
And Ahmad is a guy who always joins us on the text line. So to hear that this is so close to him, pulling for him and all of these families who are facing it today.
Absolutely, and we're hoping for the best, obviously.
All right. Luke Ducey reporting live. It's 8:06. 2 teenagers are recovering after a bear attack on Mount Si near North Bend. It happened yesterday afternoon. And here's KIRO 7 TV's Nia Bliss.
Officers say the bear charged at the teen, clawing him. While Keenan never saw the actual attack, he did witness the injured teen hiker escorted down Mount Si by King County Search and Rescue.
The bear scratched him up. He his extremity, his whole legs were scratched up. He could really barely walk.
King County Search and Rescue believe the group encountered a mama and her cub. That bear is still out there. The Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife say that this trailhead will remain closed until they get that bear.
A wild overnight chase through Seattle ends with 5 armed robbery suspects in custody. According to KIRO 7 TV, Seattle police chased the suspects across multiple precincts before the pursuit ended on State Route 99. That was around 4 this morning. We're still working to learn more about the case. Police across Washington are searching for 35-year-old Davy Donato, accused of assaulting his ex-girlfriend and then kidnapping her 6-year-old son in Linwood Monday night. That was the subject of the Amber Alert yesterday morning. KIRO 7 TV's Jack Bilyeu has more on why that alert was not sent out immediately.
According to Washington State Patrol, they aren't sent out between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. because the agency uses what it calls quiet hours.
So how come we're not even getting notifications? Like, I understand you want quiet hours and stuff, but at least a notification with no noise, that would make sense.
The sheriff's office says if you see Donato, you should not approach him. Just call 911.
And if you want to know what he looks like, we've posted a photo of him and a description of his car at mynorthwest.com.
Keeping you informed since 1974.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Need a little more cowbell. 8:08. Good morning. Thanks for being with us on Seattle's Morning News today. Manda has a morning off, so does Sully, but Ted Beener is in, keeping an eye on the threes. Ted, thanks for being here today. This has just been a warm, hot, dry start to June, and boy, we're starting to see the consequences east of the mountains.
We keep this up, we might be in the top 10 for the warmest Junes ever on record.
You might remember Ted. He was the longtime guy you'd always hear from at the National Weather Service. So this is probably a call you got every year. Is this going to be a hot, dry summer? And it's sounding like this might be one of them.
That has been the case for much of this century so far. We're a quarter of the way through it.
Don't say that, Ted. All right. And Nick Krasia, you are running the board, picking the music. And Nick, you were at the Mariners game last night. I was thinking, was it kind of like a perfect summer evening in terms of weather?
It was pretty pristine weather. Yeah, we just came off that heat wave, and yesterday it was a nice cool down, and nice little sweater and sweat and little pants there, and it was just like a perfect night, and everyone seemed to really have a great time. For a weekday, it was a pretty good crowd too. They were getting into it.
Smell of garlic fries wafting through the air.
And the return of Cal Raleigh, too. And he ended up winning the game for him, too, with a 2-run single.
That was fabulous to hear about. Okay, well, coming up this hour of the show, we will hear from ABC News State Department correspondent Shannon Kingston on the growing skepticism among U.S. intelligence officials over whether Iran will follow U.S. demands ahead of a ceasefire signing on Friday. And then G. Scott will stop by with his thoughts on the Mariners. Cal Raleigh is back, and G is excited. 8:10 now on Seattle's Morning News. Gunfire near the border in Blaine.
I sat straight up in bed because I heard gunshots. I want to say 3.
The FBI is investigating a shooting involving a border agent. KIRO 7 TV's Jason Sloss says it happened around 5:30 yesterday morning in front of a home.
A neighbor posted a photo on social media saying the guy who was shot was hit in the leg and went down in her driveway. The FBI says a gun was recovered at the scene. The FBI says it was an isolated incident with no threat to the public. No reports of anyone else who was hurt.
U.S. Attorney's Office tells Seattle Red the suspect was known to law enforcement and had a criminal history. A weekend sting operation on Aurora Avenue rescued more than a dozen women and children. The Seattle Police Department says officers were targeting human trafficking in the area. Investigators say they connected 10 adult victims with shelter and support services. They also placed 3 children into protective care. During the sweep, police arrested 6 people accused of trying to exploit children. These are the Johns. All 6 of them now face felony charges. Authorities in Pierce County warning against homemade fireworks after a powerful blast shook homes in Lakewood.
The Pierce County Bomb Squad was called to a home near Steilacoom Boulevard Southwest and Bridgeport Way Southwest just after 3 p.m. last Saturday. When they arrived, they found a 47-year-old man with life-altering injuries. Investigators say the man admitted he was mixing black powder in a Ninja blender when it exploded. Deputy Carly Capetto says the man is a victim and a suspect, too.
This is a crime. You cannot make bombs. You can't make homemade fireworks. We are just thankful that other people did not get their hands on these homemade devices.
The man will likely face charges after he recovers. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Well, the indoor dining area at a notorious McDonald's in downtown Seattle at 3rd and Pine, it's finally open. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Dee Dee Sun.
Over the past multiple years, the area has become a crime hotspot with random attacks, shootings, and drug arrests. It got so bad, McDonald's blocked the doors and only provided service through a window. Now, customers can walk inside a newly remodeled entryway for the first time in years. You can still only place to-go orders.
At 8:12, it's time to check traffic. Check weather first. We hear from KIRO 7 pinpoint meteorologist Nick Allard.
Beautiful sunshine today. We have just a little bit of low cloud cover out there, but that's really it. Otherwise, just sunshine. And we'll be around 75 in Seattle. I think we'll be around 73 in Everett. I think it'll be around 77 in the South Sound, around like Tacoma, Olympia. Tomorrow, upper 70s. And then Friday, a few more clouds, yes, but still really sunny. And then about 80 or so. And we'll keep that going. Into the weekend, I'm thinking you're going to find morning clouds, afternoon sunshine on Saturday, getting to the upper 70s. And then Sunday for Father's Day, first day of summer, 80. And then mid to upper 80s next week. Monday's your first full day of summer, although, really, Sunday's pretty darn close to it because it's just around like 124. I think we turn to summer. But next week, mid to upper 80s and even maybe some lower 90s.
In Spokane, where crews are nearby fighting those wildfires, it's up to 65 right now. 70 in the Tri-Cities, 57 in Olympia. In Everett, it's 59, and it is 58 in Seattle. 8:13 now, time to check traffic on the threes with Ted Beener.
Thanks, Charlie. Your Wednesday morning is starting to show signs of dropping traffic volumes, but we do have our share of slowdowns, and they include southbound I-5 from the 405 split down into Shoreline, as well as from 85th to 520. Southbound 405 has got braking from Canyon Park to the 160th interchange and from 85th to 520. Coming in from the south end, northbound I-5 slows from 320th to past 200th and from Albro into downtown. Northbound 167 slows from Algona to near Willis. Northbound 405, that remains a struggle at times from the West Valley Highway all the way into downtown Bellevue. Drive times, Auburn to Renton has eased to 21 minutes. Renton to Bellevue, though, that has risen to 55 minutes. That's a 15-minute delay. Federal Way to Seattle is an hour and 5 minutes. That's a 10-minute delay. 40 of those are from South Center. Puyallup to Renton is 43 minutes. Coming in from the north end, Linwood to Seattle, that is 55 minutes, and down to Bellevue is just over an hour. The Narrows and Lake Bridges, though, are moving pretty well. And a reminder on Pack Highway and Federal Way, just be aware police and fire have closed the northbound lanes at 332nd. I'm Ted Beener with KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic.
Seattle's morning news on KIRO News Radio.
While U.S. and Iranian officials prepare to gather in Switzerland on Friday and sign a deal to enact a 60-day ceasefire and reopen the Strait of Hormuz, we're hearing pessimism from U.S. intelligence agencies over whether Iran will actually agree to the U.S. demands on the use of nuclear energy. We're joined now by ABC News State Department correspondent Shannon Kingston. And Shannon, I think a lot of people are waking up today and hearing, wait a second, we launch strikes, Iran may get billions, perhaps hundreds of billions, and now our own intelligence says Iran probably will not give us the nuclear concessions we want. What are you hearing from your sources?
Well, that's right, Charlie. There are a lot of questions yet to be answered, but we are learning a little bit more about what happened in all of those very classified national security meetings leading up to the initial agreement on this memorandum of understanding. During those meetings in the Situation Room in the Oval Office, the CIA director presented intelligence to the president and the cabinet that was gathered by U.S. agencies that really does portray a pretty pessimistic outlook on whether the Iranian regime is ultimately going to be willing to give the Trump administration those big nuclear concessions that they're after. And these findings were largely based on signals intelligence, so that's intercepted chatter, communication between senior Iranian officials that shows these intelligence agencies report that Iranian negotiators were saying one thing to the mediators that were communicating with the Trump administration and quite another thing behind their backs about where this is all headed.
So basically, the Iranians say one thing to Witkoff and Kushner, and then, when they get on the phone and talk to the IRGC, instead that becomes, well, I think we got these guys. Is that simplification?
That's basically it, Charlie. It's a pretty good, rundown of what's going on here. But it is, of course, important to remember there are always two sides to the story, right? I mean, the Iranians, just like the Americans, have to spin this to their population. They have actually even more complications because the government of Iran is so fractured right now. They really have to get everybody on board. So there is some salesmanship that goes into this. But you also have to remember that so much of this initial memorandum of understanding, yes, some of it is down on paper, but a lot of it is based off of verbal assurances that have been made between the two parties here on the direction they expect the detailed nuclear negotiations to take once they get down to brass tacks. So they really are, at least on the side of U.S. officials, relying on a basic level of trust that they really are pretty much on the same page, and it won't take them long to dot I's and cross T's here.
We're speaking with Shannon Kingston with ABC News. Shannon, what are the fault lines within the White House on this, those in favor and those opposed to the deal?
It appears that the hawks have gotten more hawkish, and I'm talking about the Secretary of Defense, Secretary of State, and the CIA Director, Ratcliffe himself. They have always been, pretty wary of whether Iran is going to be in a place to actually negotiate and actually come to the table on these very big nuclear questions. But what I am told by officials close to those three is that we shouldn't expect any public breaks right now, even though they have been very much on one side during all of these private debates that have been playing out. They do understand that the president makes the decision at the end of the day, and there are some very real pragmatic issues that they feel that this memorandum of understanding could address. First and foremost is fully opening up the Strait of Hormuz, because even though the nuclear question looms over all of this, getting energy exports flowing through that strategic waterway again is very high on the agenda.
How would you characterize the president's viewpoint on this deal this morning?
Well, I'll say the president doesn't appear too happy right now. Just moments ago, he did answer some questions, and he said that with this memorandum of understanding, if he doesn't like it, quote, we'll go back to shooting at them, dropping bombs on their head, dropping bombs right smack in the middle of their head is what he said. So plenty of, strong words from the president, at least right now. And what to expect from the Iranians? Well, that is a very good question. We do know that there has been some chatter about getting a public statement, at least from the Ayatollah. He will, of course, not be present in Geneva for the physical signing of this document. So they are trying to, behind the scenes at least, construct some kind of fairly united front. But those puzzle pieces are still very much moving around. Okay, so you're the State Department correspondent. How unusual is it for some sort of deal to be reached with any government and they have the intelligence community verify that the government is in favor of it? It does change from time to time, going back all the way to the Obama-era nuclear deal, the JCPOA. There were questions in the intelligence there, but it was very much a different picture. And typically these negotiations, in the case of the JCPOA, that was about a 15-month-long process, and you did have the representatives of the negotiating parties coming together. There were these relationships that were built. So I think that even beyond the intelligence, there was maybe a deeper level of understanding. Here we have heard senior administration officials, they do feel like they have those relationships, but because these talks have been so indirect, happening mostly through mediators, there's just a very different. It is really putting apples to oranges in so many cases. ABC News State Department correspondent Shannon Kingston. Shannon, great talking to you for the first time, and I look forward to conversations in the future. Absolutely, Charlie. Thank you so much.
8:21 now. Federal investigators say multiple people are in custody in connection with the plan to target the UFC event at the White House Sunday, and they're looking to locate others. News Nation Washington correspondent Margaret Chadbourne has the latest.
While not described as highly advanced, the FBI says it learned about the alleged attack just 4 days before the UFC event was set to take place on the White House South Lawn. Court documents show that the plot was designed to cause chaos across the nation's capital. An event to celebrate America's 250th anniversary and the president's birthday is now the focus of a major FBI investigation. Federal agents say they disrupted an alleged plot to carry out a deadly attack at Sunday's UFC Freedom 250 event at the White House.
Look, it was a serious threat.
Court documents allege the suspects used TikTok and encrypted chats to coordinate with a plan to use small drones carrying explosives to spark panic before snipers targeted senior government officials and other VIPs as they fled, including billionaires and Republican lawmakers. Senator Marsha Blackburn was one of the targets, with the suspects discussing donations she received from pro-Israel political action committees. Senators Jim Justice and Shelley Moore Capito, as well as Representatives Riley Moore and Carol Miller, were also referenced in the plans.
It was unique due to the numbers involved, the level of planning.
Investigators say some of the suspects embrace fringe conspiracy theories and anti-Semitic beliefs, while court documents suggest the group viewed the attack as a way to jumpstart a revolution. The Justice Department released photos showing multiple weapons, tactical gear, and what investigators describe as training sessions. The case now renewing concerns on Capitol Hill about domestic security threats.
I'm glad the FBI thwarted the attack, and I think that we live in a pretty dangerous time here domestically.
So far, investigators say they have identified at least 23 people allegedly involved in planning the attack, and they are searching for additional suspects. A dozen FBI field offices and the U.S. Secret Service are involved in the ongoing case. Margaret Chadbourne, News Nation, Washington.
8:23 now. We check traffic on the threes. Sully's off, so here's Ted Biener.
Thank you, Charlie. This traffic report is brought to you by Harger Stone Credit Union. Well, your Wednesday morning commute slowdowns, they include northbound 167 from Algona to near Willis, and again from before 180th to 405. Northbound I-5 has got braking from 200th to near South Center and from Albro into downtown. Coming in from the north end, southbound I-5 has got braking around the 128th merge and from the 405 split into Shoreline, as well as from 85th to 520. While southbound 405, that slows from Canyon Park to the 160th interchange, as well as 85th in Kirkland up to or down to 520. Northbound 405 also pretty slow from about 167 all the way up into downtown Bellevue. Drive times, Everett to Seattle is about 55 minutes, while down to Bellevue is just over an hour. On northbound I-5, Tacoma to Seattle has improved to an hour and 10 minutes. Your Puyallup to Renton drive time is eased to 40 minutes, while that drive from Renton to Bellevue, that has grown close to an hour. That is about a 15-minute delay. Earn up to $30 per month just for using your Harborstone PNW Cashback debit card. Open your free checking account online today at harborstone.com/cash. I'm Ted Biener with KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic.
Mostly sunny, 75 today, 78 tomorrow, 58 right now in Seattle. Coming up, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey with details on a bear attack on 2 teens yesterday at Mount Si. Plus, former State Attorney General Rob McKenna breaks down a recent Washington Supreme Court decision as causing a stir with Second Amendment supporters. That's on the way here on Seattle's Morning News.
Please be advised. You may want to stop eating the following foods immediately: broccoli, kale, bean sprouts, blueberries, quinoa, spinach.
Wait, what? I thought those were good for me.
Turns out, not for everyone. Because what's healthy for one person can cause inflammation for another. And the only way to really know what your body needs is to listen to it.
Listen how?
That's where Viome comes in. Viome is a simple at-home gut health test that looks at your body's real-time biology using RNA to understand what's happening inside you right now. When your results come in, you'll learn exactly which foods to eat, which to avoid, and which supplements are right for you, all based on the world's largest RNA-based human biology database and thousands of clinical research studies. And many people who use Viome report more energy, better digestion, and a better mood within months. So stop guessing. Start knowing. Learn more at viome.com/gut. V as in Victor, IOME.com/GUT. And use coupon code GUTHEALTH50 to save $50 off your purchase. Viome. Trust your gut.
Hey there, Dawn Riling from Olympic Hot Tub with exciting news. Our mid-year clearance event is on. You'll score big savings on all in-stock saltwater hot tubs and fabulous saunas. Plus, deep discounts on newly released floor model swim spas. These deals are incredible. But don't wait. Our mid-year clearance ends June 30th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub. RV buyers save thousands at the 10th Annual Summer RV Blowout Sale, June 18th through the 28th at the Evergreen State Fairgrounds. Top manufacturers with every floor plan imaginable, exclusive dealer rebates, huge discounts on new and used models, factory reps on site, enjoy free lunch, plus a year's worth of free camping. The 10th Annual Summer RV Blowout Sale, June 18th through the 28th at the Evergreen State Fairgrounds in Monroe, hosted by Open Road RV, free parking and admission.
Hey, when was the last time you inspected your crawl space or your attic? What's the last time you went in there just to see what kind of shape they're in? Oh, never? Yeah, same. I don't want to go in there. Most homeowners completely avoid those areas, but it is important to check on them regularly. It's why you call Crawl Pros. They'll come out and go where you don't want to. Hey, it's Mike Salk here. And yes, when Crawl Pros came out to my place, they realized we had a little problem with our insulation. So they've set about fixing it, and they did a great job. But if you've got the same problem, they'll also look to see what kind of energy rebates are available. Right now, local utility companies are incentivizing homeowners to make their home more energy efficient with proper insulation. And some homes qualify for several $1,000s in savings with these utility rebate programs. So don't just assume your crawl space and attic are in great condition. Do what I did. Call Crawl Pros today and schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection and find out if you've got water intrusion, mold, rodent issues, or even damaged insulation. Schedule your crawl space and attic inspection at crawlpros.com.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Are you looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. With new home communities from Lacey to Stanwood, ranging from the low 500s to the high 1 millions, D.R. Horton has the right home at the best value for you. Your new home is within reach, so what are you waiting for? Learn more about the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. Visit drhorton.com and schedule a tour today. D.R. Horton, America's builder. An equal housing opportunity builder.
Guys, it's Men's Health Month at Revive Seattle. Get a free comprehensive wellness panel. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, heart health, and more. Valued at $400. Offer ends June 30th. Call 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 8:30. All trails on Mount Si near North Bend are closed right now after a bear attacked 2 teenagers. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey joins us live with the latest.
Yeah, Charlie, Fish and Wildlife officials are out there right now, still searching for that bear. No doubt a lot of you listening right now have hiked Mount Si. I know I have, Charlie, you have. This is a group of 3 hikers we're talking about, teenagers. They were more than 2.5 miles up on the trail. They say a bear charged them and they scattered. One of the hikers injured himself, spraining his ankle running away. Another victim told a passerby after the attack.
He said that the bear kept after him and that it
kept swatting at him.
That passerby also told KIRO 7 TV the one victim looked pretty bad.
The bear scratched him up. His extremity, his whole legs were scratched up. He could really barely walk.
But he's okay. That's the good news. According to Fish and Wildlife, though, the last recorded bear attack, I should say, with injuries was way back in 2022. So they're rare. But this is interesting. If you're watching on our YouTube feed, there are a number of reported black bear sightings across Puget Sound in the last year, according to Woodland Park Zoo, mostly near towns, like in the foothills of towns. Now, add in mountain lion and bobcat sightings. Look at this. Not in the wilderness, but near towns. Well, in this case, a second group of hikers also on Mount Si on a trail said they were followed by a black bear, but there was no contact in that incident. So we've got two incidents coming to contact with one reported attack. Scary moment, Charlie, for everyone involved, but thankfully it was not worse.
Well, yeah, I live in the suburbs. I've got a green belt against the back of my house, so we occasionally have bears that go through that because I've moved into their neighborhood.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
Yeah, hopefully that teenager will be okay.
Yeah, hopefully.
Thank you, Luke. 8:32 now. 6 people are in jail after a major human trafficking sting on Seattle's Aurora Avenue. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin.
Seattle police say 10 women and 3 minors were found being sexually and financially exploited along this area over the weekend. Those victims were helped by the county's Human Services Department. That way they could get a safe place to stay and get basic needs provided. They say the 6 people arrested are now charged with felony offenses. This is an increased effort by SPD during the World Cup as well. The King County Prosecutor's Office says they anticipate the buying and selling of sex will increase as people from all over the world visit Seattle.
Today is the last day of the school year for the largest district in the state, Seattle Public Schools. Superintendent Brett Sheldner says they have major challenges ahead. KIRO 7 TV's Ranji Sinha is outside Hazel Wolf K-8 school.
Now, he's going to have to deal with parents and others on the issue of school closures. He's already faced pressure on both sides when it comes to the district's cell phone bans and policies. He's also had to deal with safety concerns at several different schools. In January, he told our Lindsay Sheldon that security fencing, cameras, metal detectors could all be coming to some schools. Now, those measures could be put in place anytime between now and the next school year.
It's 8:33 now. We check traffic on the 3s. Sully has the morning off, and we check in with Ted Beener.
All right, thanks, Charlie. This traffic report is brought to you by Global Credit Union. Your Wednesday morning traffic volumes, they are showing signs of easing, but slowdowns, include nothing you can't handle. Driving in from the north end, southbound I-5 slows from the 405 split into Shoreline, as well as from about 85th into about 520. Southbound 405, that's got braking from Canyon Park to the 160th interchange and from 85th to 520. Coming in from the south end, northbound I-5 slows from the Fife curve to State Route 18, from Midway to past 200th, and from Albro into downtown. Northbound 167 remains slow from Algona to near 15th, and northbound 405, that is still a struggle at times from 167 all the way into downtown Bellevue. Drive times, Auburn to Renton, that is improved to 15 minutes. Renton to Bellevue, though, that is an hour. That is a 20-minute delay there. Federal Way to Seattle is an hour and 5 minutes. That's a 10-minute delay. 40 minutes of that commute is from South Center. From Snohomish County, Linwood to Seattle, that is east to 30 minutes, and down to Bellevue, that is dropped to 45 minutes. The Narrows and Lake Bridges are moving well. Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. I'm Ted Beener with KIRO News Radio. Real-time traffic.
Mostly sunny today, high of 75 in Seattle. Right now, Tacoma's 58, Everett is 60, and Seattle is 58.
Seattle's tradition for news and conversation. This is Seattle's Morning News with Charlie Harger and Manda Factor.
A decision from our state Supreme Court last week is drawing the ire of gun rights advocates. Let's get some details with former state AG Rob McKenna, who joins us each week. Rob, can you explain this decision a bit?
Absolutely. So this decision, which comes out of a case involving 2 individuals in Spokane who had 2 DUIs apiece within 7 years, they lost their right to own a gun, to obtain a concealed carry permit, and they lost that right because of a 2023 Washington state law that strips the firearm rights of individuals who are convicted of 2 or more qualifying DUI-related offenses within a 7-year span. So 2 or more DUIs within 7 years, you automatically lose your rights to possess a firearm. That's a permanent loss unless or until you go to court and you can show you have had a clean record for at least 5 years, and the court agrees to restore your rights to own firearms. So that law and its application to these individuals was the issue in this case.
Well, if I hear a 5-4 split on the state Supreme Court, that indicates to me this might be in trouble if it does make its way to the U.S. Supreme Court. Am I wrong in that?
Right. Yeah, it's very hard, and you and I have talked about this multiple times. It's very hard to get the Supreme Court of the United States to grant review because they have thousands of petitions. If it went up, I think there would be some risk that the state Supreme Court would be overturned. They've been overturned before. But what's interesting to me about this dissent is it was written by one of the very progressive members of the court. Of course, most of the members of the court are pretty highly progressive. But the justice who wrote the dissenting opinion said, look, a person who loses their rights to possess arms under the Supreme Court's decision in 2024 has to pose what's called a credible threat to the physical safety of another. And in that 2024 U.S. Supreme Court case, the guy who lost his rights, he was crazy. I mean, he was like, he had multiple incidents of firing his guns at other people, shooting his guns in the air around his kids. He was accused of domestic violence. I mean, he was a bad dude. So there, the court said, yeah, credible threat. Here, the point that the dissenters are making in this Washington Supreme Court case is you're convicted of a DUI. That's bad, of course, because the act itself of driving drunk is a bad thing. But does it directly correlate to being a threat, to commit violence? And so does that person who's been convicted of a DUI, even of 2 DUIs within 7 years, do they pose a credible threat to the physical safety of another involving a gun, right? Not involving your car, but involving a gun. Keep in mind, we're not talking about people losing their rights to drive, which, can happen, if you have many, many convictions. We're talking about losing your right to possess a firearm. And these 2 individuals from Spokane didn't know that they couldn't own a gun until they went to apply for a concealed carry permit. And the system said, nope, we see 2 DUI convictions in the last 7 years or more, and you're prohibited. So legislature has said in Washington State, well, we think there's a correlation between misusing alcohol and violence. But the dissenters in this decision, these 4 state Supreme Court justices said, no, that's, you need an individual determination. It's called an individualized determination. So they would have ruled that a trial court would have to decide whether or not the DUI convictions indicate that the person abused alcohol and was a credible threat if they had a gun. And that's not the test that the majority of the Supreme Court upheld, which is 2 DUIs, automatically lose your rights to possess a firearm, and you don't have them unless you get a court to give them back to you after 5 years.
Well, no matter where you come down on this, it's always a good reminder, especially as we're headed into the summer, don't drink and drive. Make other plans. Don't even face your legal hassles, and everything will be much better without something happening like this behind the wheel. All right, former state AG Rob McKenna. Rob, always great speaking to you. We'll check in with you next week.
Thanks, Charlie. Take care.
It's 8:40. What's coming up in traffic, Ted?
Well, the commute's winding down, but we still have some lingering slowdown details in a few moments.
It is summertime, which means sunshine, baseball games, beach trips, hiking, fun with the family. And Brad, I'll bet it's easier to pay for with free checking from WaFd Bank.
That's right, Dave. Set your financial goals and stick to them with free checking. No minimum balances or monthly maintenance fees to worry about. Hey, you'll also get spending tools to help you stay on top of your budget. Not only is WaFd Bank rated the best bank, we have more than 200 branches to serve you across 9 western states.
And tell me more about this card control feature I've heard so much about.
Dave, you can view transactions for individual cards, set controls and alerts, and if you forget your card at the restaurant, you can instantly turn it off while you go back to get it. You'll also have access to free tools like Zelle, mobile check deposit, and when those unfortunate times happen, submit fraud disputes right inside the WaFd mobile app.
And don't forget, you can choose from some great-looking debit cards, including Seattle Kraken and Seattle Seawolves cards. So visit WaFdBank.com and open your account today. Non-sufficient funds charges may apply. Member FDIC.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? During the Xfinity Summer Savings Event, now through June 22nd, new customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi, just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, add one line of Xfinity Mobile Select and you can save an average of $60 a month over Verizon and AT&T. You can even try it free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings Event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Savings based on 1 gig internet and 1 mobile select line compared to similar Verizon and AT&T plans over 5 years. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable.
Let's say you get into a car accident. You end up getting hurt. You're missing work, and now the insurance company wants you to handle the paperwork yourself while you're still recovering. Here's what happens when you go it alone. They throw out a lowball offer. You're on defense from minute one, and you're scraping for a fair shake against people who do this for a living. But here's what happens when you call Harold Carr Law Offices. They handle everything. The paperwork, the negotiation, the insurance company, all of it. You focus on getting better. They focus on getting you what you actually deserve. And trust me, that number is almost always higher than what you would have walked away with on your own. 7 locations across Western Washington, a huge qualified team, and a free consultation at carlaw.com. Carr is spelled with 2 R's, C-A-R-R. They'll actually listen to you and give you an honest assessment without any pressure. That's carlaw.com. 2 R's in car. Car accident? Call Carr. C-A-R-R. carlaw.com.
8:43 now. We check traffic on the 3s with Ted Beener.
Alrighty, thank you, Charlie. Your Wednesday morning commute is winding down, yet we still have some lingering slowdowns, and that includes northbound 167 from Algona to near Willis, and again from before 180th to 405. Northbound I-5 has got braking as you go up that hill to State Route 18, and again from Albro into downtown. Northbound 405, that just remains sluggish from 167 all the way into Bellevue. I'll have the drive time here in a moment. From the north end, southbound I-5 has braking from the 405 split down into Shoreline and from Ravenna to 520, while southbound 405 slows from Canyon Park to the 160th interchange and now from Totem Lake to 520. Drive times, Everett to Seattle is 40 minutes, and while going to Bellevue, that has eased to just over 50 minutes. Tacoma to Seattle has improved to an hour. Puyallup to Renton, that has eased to 35 minutes. And then that drive from Renton to Bellevue, it's actually dropped a bit to 55 minutes, but that's still a 15-minute delay. KIRO Newsradio, real-time traffic. I'm Ted Beener.
It's 58 and sunny in Seattle right now. It'll be mostly sunny throughout the day with a high of 75. 8:44 now. Coming up, G. Scott stops by the show to talk about the Mariners and the return of the Big Dumper. That's on the way on Seattle's Morning News.
Your medication for enlarged prostate is working. That's what you tell yourself. You're up 3 times a night instead of 5. The urgency is manageable. The stream's not great, but it's fine. That's the problem. Fine. Enlarged prostate, or BPH, doesn't pause because the medication takes the edge off. The prostate keeps growing. The bladder keeps working harder. And over time, those changes can be harder to reverse. But surgery? Not for you, right? Aquablation is not the surgery you're picturing. It's the only ultrasound-guided, robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Don't wait until things become unbearable. Find an Aquablation urologist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466. 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
Welcome to this week's Puget Sound Express Whale Report. What a week of variety. According to naturalists from Puget Sound Express, passengers saw it all. Humpbacks breaching and lunge feeding, bigs killer whales hunting, and gray whales feeding near the shoreline. Minke whales sliced through large schools of fish in the Strait of Juan de Fuca, while playful Pacific white-sided dolphins surfed alongside boats in Port Angeles. Add in tufted puffins, sea otters, harbor porpoises, bald eagles, and stellar sea lions, and nearly every trip became a wildlife treasure hunt. Family-run Puget Sound Express offers daily guaranteed whale watching tours departing from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Puget Sound Express also offers tours out of Port Townsend and Port Angeles on the Olympic Peninsula. Orcas, humpbacks, minke whales, and so much more. Don't miss out on your chance to see whales in the wild. Family-run Puget Sound Express guarantees you'll see whales or your next trip is free. Book online at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
Well, here he is from the G and Ursula Show, 9 to noon on KIRO Newsradio, and the host of the Reset podcast. G, I want to play a little sound for you, okay?
Pitch on the way, swinging a line, driving to left center field, falling fast. That's going to drop in, a base hit. Here comes Robles. Emerson rounding third. The throw to the plate, he slides, he's saved. 2 runs are in. Welcome back, Cal Raleigh off the IL.
And that was all it took for the Mariners to win last night. How good was it to see Cal like that, G?
It was good. It was real good to see him back. Driving in some runs and everything. The Mariners right now still a game and a half in first place, and that needs to be said often that they've been continuing to stay in first place. But man, was it good to see him return, drive in 2 runs. Mariners get that win 3-1, and for him to get that hit towards the end. Here's the thing: the Mariners. The one thing I respect and love about them is that even when things were looking a little rough for them, they still managed to just maintain, and that's what they've been doing. Isn't that what life is about, though?
And David was just pointing out their record right now is just like a game higher than they were last season at this time.
Yeah.
I always forget about that, where it's like at this point in the season, sometimes they lose a couple, they lose a series maybe. You start to, or at least I do as a longtime Mariners fan, you start to feel a little negative, and then you realize, wait, they made it to Game 7 of the ALCS last season, and they had essentially the exact same record at this time. So it's all put into perspective a little bit.
And it's different right now, right? Because Cal Raleigh isn't having the season that he had last year as far as home runs is concerned, but the Mariners collectively as a team, as a unit, are doing it in different ways. And I think that is the mark of a great team. So it's interesting, though. I find something. It's kind of like how I look at a lot of news. When things are going good, I've noticed, oh my gosh, Cal Raleigh. Oh, Randa Rosarina. Oh, Julio Rodriguez. But as soon as things go bad, oh, Dan Wilson, he's horrible. I just can't believe it. Get rid of Dan Wilson. Yeah. He's not a good manager at all. That's weird.
Baseball is a sport that lasts a long time for a season. You got to be patient for it.
Yeah.
G, can I throw you a curveball? Today, on this date, 1994, you were 18 years old.
Yes, sir.
You just turned 18. This was one of the biggest sports days in American history. Let me go down what was happening on this day.
Oh, I know exactly. Hold on. Before you even tell me the curveball, I know exactly what I was doing. I know who I was with. I know exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. But you about to talk about OJ?
Arnold Palmer. Hold on. Arnold Palmer playing his final round in the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
We have the World Cup. First time being hosted in the United States. It kicked off today.
Yeah.
The Rangers won the Stanley Cup final.
Okay.
It was Game 5 of the NBA final with the Rockets and Knicks. And in Seattle, Ken Griffey Jr. Hit a home run, tying Babe Ruth for the most home runs before June 30th. And, oh, by the way, O.J. Simpson and Al Cowlings were seen on a freeway in Los Angeles driving down the road.
I knew you were going to say that.
Where were you?
Man.
18.
That's a very good follow-up question. I was watching NBA Finals, and I was hanging out with a good friend of mine, and was just sitting. I remember it was hot. And because it was so hot, their couch was hot. And I just was like, man, I'll just sit on the floor. So I remember sitting on the floor, and I remember continuing to sit on the floor the entire time because of OJ and Al Cowlings. And by the way, I'd never forget. I ever tell you about the time when I told my grandmama that OJ was guilty and she kicked me out of the house?
No.
That's a true story.
Yeah.
Because she used to watch the OJ trial, and, she's like, what they doing to OJ is just ridiculous. You know what it would be the equivalent of? It'd be the equivalent of somebody saying, oh, my goodness, this is a witch hunt. Yeah. you know what I mean?
Sure.
You know how you have some people that they know that this person is an awful person? Right. They have all the evidence, but still they're like, nope. That was my grandmama on OJ. You couldn't tell her nothing about the man, the rental car commercials, Hertz, jumping over everything. She had this real image of OJ. We never reconciled that disagreement because she passed away. But look, OJ was guilty then, and he was guilty in the future. By the way, Michael Jackson. I think Michael Jackson was guilty too, but that's another topic. People get real mad at me. But remember, OJ was acquitted. Michael Jackson was acquitted. What's the difference? They was both guilty. Anyways, I'm going off on a stray right now. But here, before I go, I got some real news for you. You got a curveball? Let me tell you something. Now, see, David Burbank, Nick, y'all don't know nothing about what I'm about to talk about right now. And if you know, you know. But as you know, next week, they bringing it back, everybody. They are bringing back Ted Peter. Check this out. They benched this in 1992. And the reason why they benched this particular product, because they said, oh, it's too fried. Oh, it's too heavy. And McDonald's took it off the shelf. And then they said, well, we'll just bake it for you. Nah, they bringing it back. They bringing back the fried, golden, crispy apple pie. That's coming back June 23rd. This should have led all of the news to national news this year. It's the greatest thing. And they're bringing it back for America's 250th birthday. Now, I'm going to die on this hill. Okay. And I need you to send the comments in, text line right now. Let's get a fight started. Let's get fighting. Here we go.
Okay.
Apple pie is the greatest pie ever invented. Here's why. Yes, I love sweet potato pie. Yeah. And yes, Charlie, you and your delegation love pumpkin pie. But the thing is you can only have those things one time a year. Yeah. Apple pie is year-round, baby. Year-round.
What about a berry pie?
Heck no.
Cherry pie?
Nah.
No?
Nah. Cherry pie from the movie Life. I don't know if you remember that. But anyway, cherry pie, no.
Okay.
Apple pie is the greatest pie ever. And if you know about that McDonald's deep fried pie, David, they benched it before you was born, my dude.
I know. No, I heard much tell of it throughout the years. And for that reason, I never tried one of them because I figured, what's the point?
Let me just tell you, it is the equivalent of their fries.
Mm-hmm.
Is
that the best fast food dessert? I'm putting in McFlurries. I'm putting in Blizzards, all that stuff.
No, not even close.
I'll tell him. I'll tell him, Amanda. Oh, Amanda's on the phone. She says, you are excused.
Oh, dang it. All right.
It's 8:54. We need to check in with Ted Peter at the traffic desk.
Oh, wow. How do you follow that up? This traffic report is brought to you by Harger Credit Union. Your Wednesday morning traffic volumes are easing, but slowdowns include nothing you can't handle. Driving in from the north end, southbound I-5 remains a slow go from 405 split into Shoreline, as well as Ravenna to 520. Southbound 405 continues a sluggish drive from Canyon Park to the 160th interchange and 85th to 520. Coming in from the south end, well, I just got to say northbound 405 is still a struggle at times from 167 all the way into downtown Bellevue. In fact, that drive time, that is sitting at it's dropped to 50 minutes, but 30 that's good enough right there. Linwood to Seattle, that's east to 20 minutes, and Bellevue is down to 35. Narrows and Lake Bridges are moving well. Earn up to $30 per month just for using your Harborstone PNW cashback debit card. Open your free checking account online today at harborstone.com/cash. I'm Ted Biener with KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic.
Life doesn't have to slow you down just because costs are up. At Subaru of Puyallup, fuel-efficient models help you go farther with the confidence of all-wheel drive. And you have to experience the newly redesigned Subaru Outback with bold styling, advanced safety, an upgraded touchscreen, and even more capability. For stress-free pricing, a huge selection, and current offers, stop by Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership. part of the Harnish Auto family. Visit SubaruofPuyallup.com.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Summer is the time to feel and look your best, but I'm not talking about your abs or tan. Guys, I'm talking about your hair. Restore that bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, or add volume to thinning during Advanced Hair's once yearly summer savings event. Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment begins to regrow your very own hair the very next day, and they guarantee your new hair will grow. They are the team that addressed my hair loss, and I recommend them to everyone. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar. Advanced Hair's summer sales event is on for a limited time. So get the details and schedule your free consultation today. 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. With Advanced Hair, your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Check out the incredible before and afters and make the call now while their summer savings event is still on. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
I just can't dig it.
Dig what?
My water line.
Needs replacing?
And I don't want digging in my yard.
And maybe your driveway.
Can't dig it.
Don't dig it.
But how do you?
Apollo Plumbing replaces water lines without digging up your yard.
You're Dan.
From the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Apollo Plumbing.
Our trenchless technology replaces water and sewer lines.
Without digging up my yard?
2 little holes is all it takes.
Sounds better.
Faster, too.
And my yard?
Like we were never there.
Sounds spendy.
Not so much.
Oh?
In the end, about the same as that messy digging you don't want.
How do you figure?
Think about that landscaping you love.
Yeah?
Trenchless means you won't be paying to replace it.
Or my driveway.
We run everything underground.
Trenchless?
Do them all the time.
How about...
Easy payments?
Yeah.
With approved credit. Sure thing.
When can you get started?
We are the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Love that.
Apollo Plumbing, trenchless waterline replacement.
Sewer lines, too.
Can you dig that?
That I can.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day for baseball.
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. Case in point, your ticket might be for the view level, but it's more like Skyline City. Up here, it's hard to say what'll take your breath away first. The gorgeous Seattle sunsets or the spectacular views of every incredible play. If you like value with a view, it's the perfect place to take quality time with the family to a whole new level. Literally.
A bases clearing, 3-run double. Everybody on their feet here at T-Mobile Park.
Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
The summer of soccer has arrived in Seattle, and the Mariners are celebrating with an epic giveaway tomorrow. Don't miss Stars and Stripes Soccer Jersey Day as the squad takes on the Orioles at 1:10. The first 15,000 fans will score this one-of-a-kind jersey thanks to Alaska Airlines. Get your tickets today at mariners.com.
Olympic Hot Tub's mid-year clearance event is on. Score big savings on saltwater hot tubs,